Come on, Roz.
You know, like, well, good thing.
He always looks like a man child when he shaves.
Well,
like
good thing he's married and doesn't matter what either one of us think about how he looks.
Yeah, that's
right. It's just a party of one.
Roz has got that drink back there.
And I heard she's blind, so.
It's white. that
Keep up, Roz. Keep up.
That would explain most things, right?
And deaf.
Roz is drinking a drink back there that looks like it's Gatorade, but it's spelled with an H. You know what I'm saying? That haterade.
Oh, like where?
Drinking
Where
that.
is it?
Wait, what?
Roz is sipping on that haterade. Is
Haterade. I was like,
yeah.
Gatorade.
I was like,
with
no,
an H.
actually, we don't have anything. We have
Okay.
no coffee. We have no creamer.
That just proves right
nothing.
there.
Wait, we don't have coffee or anything here?
We have no coffee. I looked, and that just proves it because I was sitting there going through drinks in my head. What starts with an H?
It's like, can I get one?
We don't got Keurigs or nothing in here?
No.
I'm telling you nothing.
Let's hit up the Gateway Grocery Boys.
Already on it.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
yes.
so-
Did you not get your order in?
No, come on,
Oh,
man.
no. We didn't get his. Oh, dang.
Tell him to bring the host of the show some.
Well,
You never eat breakfast.
Oh, I don't want to eat
ever
anything. I
ask
just need some coffee. Hey, Roz, by the way,
I've got a day-old Coke here.
Ugh.
thanks,
I'm working
thanks
on
Nick. I appreciate that. Did we on Monday? We just ran Friday show. Is that correct? We did best of.
No.
What did we do? Who did?
No.
What was the Monday?
John and Rich.
Yeah, my dad.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Did they cover? What did they cover?
No, it was
Stacy.
Stacy and my dad. Yeah.
Stacy and John. Did they cover some of the Russian stuff?
Yesterday was John and Rich.
No, yesterday was Rich and Mark.
So I was like a little tad, like a tad late. So I don't really.
You were late.
I don't really know. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, whatever. Regardless of whatever happened Monday, I know
Is she
Tuesday.
not fired yet?
I
thought
listen.
we were working on that.
Yeah, I don't know why that hasn't happened.
It's your
to be
sparkling
honest.
personality.
Yeah, it's that.
Look, I listened to all of yesterday's show. It was Rich and Mark, and the point being of me asking what was going on Monday is I was quite indisposed at the time, wasn't able to listen. Mr. Crawford and I are pretty much going to go all day long with the most heated topic of the day. There's a few other surrounding issues. Alexander Cortez's Green New Deal was voted on in the Senate, which is just
Actually got Democrats to vote against it, too.
There's a senator that used.
Did you see how she spun that?
Oh yeah,
About how so it was a 57-0 vote on the Green New Deal,
which means some Democrats switched, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
I believe four switched, and Joe Manchin was one of them. The lady from Arizona was one, and I don't remember who the other ones were, but the other Democrats didn't vote no. They just voted present, which is a known tactic to not necessarily vote against something, but not vote for it.
That's
either.
exactly right. Yeah,
and that's just
because
what
they could have all voted yes if they wanted to, and still lost.
Right,
but made a principled stand about it.
We can't really vote for this, but we can't really vote against it either.
Right.
So, which is sad to say, the Democrat Party they can't vote against banning air travel in the United States of America. But did you see what AOC's response to all those people voting present were?
No, what is?
Don't you throw my crackers like that?
Don't you throw my crackers?
That wasn't her response. Grant just threw my crackers.
Yeah.
AOC's response was, well, I told them it would be strategically better if they would just vote no response versus voting yes or no completely. She's claiming she coached them to vote no response. That was somehow a win for her. Sweetheart, let me do some math for you. I know you have an econ degree, but still can't do math because of all the proposals you have in here. There are 100 members of the Senate. 57 of them voted no. Let me tell you something. That is not a majority yes. You didn't even get any yeses. So that is not a win for you. That is a major defeat. That is an absolute major defeat. You had Democrats vote against it. All the other Democrats went, well, because of our own socialist base, we can't really go too far against this, but it's still socialism completely, and you're banning air travel. You are, wanting to completely change how business is done in America. And by the way, guys, we're all going to die in 12 years now because everybody voted no on the Green New Deal.
Can I say my favorite part of the whole analysis, Nick, was that you called her sweetheart? I love when you call congressmen and senators that are just so patently absurd sweetheart. Let me tell you.
It's being kind.
I think about it this way. As far as demographics are concerned, you and I are not that outside of what her demographic. How old is that girl? 28? Is she 28?
Something like that.
29, something like that?
In between our ages.
Right, she's right in between our ages. So we could speak to her as a peer, right? We could speak to, not as a...
So I call her something else?
No, I don't know, man. Look, I will say, it's obviously what Nick and I are rolling up to is we're going to cover most of the show today about our opinions of the Mueller report and all the nonsense been going on with Democrats. I will say, though, no, it's like Christmas for Republicans right now, dude. It really is. Look at the Avenatti stuff going on. Has anyone been following this?
Yeah.
Avenatti, a guy that was considered a legitimate presidential candidate for quite some time, has now been charged with extortion claims, trying to extort $20 million. Along with a few other folks. We have the Jussie Smollett stuff coming out, which is not exactly like Christmas for Republicans, but it's at least one more thing to talk about.
I would rather have him traded in the universe for innocent and have Avenatti go to jail. That's pretty nice. And then the Mueller stuff coming out.
Well, it's interesting, man, because you bring that up, and we're just sort of teasing this stuff through the first segment here, but you bring that up, Nick, and I was actually talking to my buddy Sean about this yesterday and asking, all right, man, but how seriously, regarding the Jussie Smollett stuff, like how seriously should we even take this? How much of a concern should this really be? Frankly speaking, part of me wants to say, dude, I don't care about Jussie Smollett. I really didn't even care if he went to jail or not. But my boy Shine had a totally different opinion.
I had a little bit different one as well.
Right? His thing was, no, man, somebody needs to be made an example of this, especially at the highest level, especially at the level of a Jussie Smollett, someone like in the Hollywood elite.
Think of it too,
right?
That this just shows one more time that if you have the right politics, no matter what you do, you'll be all right in the end. To an extent, that Jussie Smollett, one, this hurts any other crime of this nature. That if this happens again, this is just now an example of nothing happening. And Rahm Emanuel is coming out against something saying this is awful,
right?
That you must have been pretty far off the mark because he's not exactly a common sense conservative out there.
But that's the truth when Rahm Emanuel's coming out.
He's condemning it. So this should be pretty universal. But one thing I just thought of, we should have a new nickname on the show for someone. So Andrea Ocasio-Cortez, which, by the way, she gets offended if you just call her Cortez.
Is that right? Because that's what I've been doing the whole time.
Yeah, she gets offended by that.
I didn't even know.
She had a response. She was, I'm not a Cortez. I'm Ocasio-Cortez. I'm not a Cortez.
I'm just going to keep calling her. I'm going to keep calling her Cortez because of that.
Well, her first name starts with A. So do you think I could call her dedicated Alexandria? You know what that stands for? DA, Dedicated Alexandria. I think that's going to be her new nickname since I can't actually call her what I want to call her on air. She's just going to be DA Ocasio-Cortez.
I still like, Roz, who was the guy we met at the Pancake Breakfast? Was his name Adrian? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Adrian!
Adrian! Was it Adrian?
I think so, yes.
Adrian! Anyways, wait, Nick, do you understand the reference? Look at his face was saying, no, I don't get it. Yeah, it's Rocky, man.
I was here going, y'all are making fun of how the guy talked.
No, yeah, that would be bad. No. Yeah, you got to watch Rocky, man. At the end when
Adrian was awesome.
Adrian.
Yeah.
Anyways, was it Adrian that called in and said her name is Alexandria Occasional Cortez?
Occasional,
I like
occasionally, right?
Yeah, well, she's just occasionally like
somebody did, yeah.
Yeah, she's occasionally, there. She's occasionally conscious. I don't know, man. I don't know. Look, we have some other headlines, too. This is coming from John Solomon. I tell you all the time, man, John Solomon is one of these individuals that
John
you really...
Solomon knows what's at.
And I don't know where he's getting his information from, y'all, but he's been right about everything from the very beginning. John Solomon is part of the guy. When I piece together this whole analysis of, which we're going to get to our opinion on today, of, okay, is it time to turn and focus attention back to the entire propped-up mechanism that started this farce of a witch hunt? We heard President Trump say just a few days back, this should never happen to another sitting president in American history again. And I agree. I think most Democrats should agree, right?
I don't care if it's a Democrat or a Republican president. The point that you can have this investigation going on for 2 years into something that was nothing, something that we have been saying forever and the entire time, since the beginning, this is nothing. It's not going to find anything. I wasn't worried a bit about the Mueller report, of them actually finding any Russian collusion. Why? Because there wasn't any. The only Russian collusion was between the Democrats and Hillary Clinton and the Russians. That this was a complete, quote-unquote, nothing burger of what this whole thing is being called. And no one should be surprised by this. What this was, the Mueller report can be simmered down into one very simple piece of analysis. The Mueller report was a Democrat Party in the United States of America crying and upset about the absolute defeat of their queen and anointed one, Hillary Rodham Clinton. And they could not stand that average Americans went out and voted for Donald Trump. They could not stand that they gave you the power in that and you didn't choose their favorite queen. They could not stand that someone might actually like Donald Trump. They can't stand that were not seen as smarter than you, and that their power came crumbling down, and they knew Donald Trump would do something about that, and he is the wall between them and the American populace in controlling the United States of America. This had nothing to do with Russian collusion. They knew it had nothing to do with Russian collusion. This had nothing to do with any kind of actual... You realize they were... claiming and accusing Donald Trump, the duly elected president of the United States of America, is acting as a foreign agent acting against the United States of America. That is treason and punishable by death. They were accusing the president of that. That is a very serious accusation. And now on the back end, after 2 years of investigation, people should have to pay a price for this. The people that were proponents of this should have to pay a price for this, because this was an absolute political witch hunt from the beginning. It was to try to stop and slow down Donald Trump as much as possible. And they knew it was nothing. And they're all a bunch of liars. And I think they should be held criminally responsible somehow. Find some way for the people that were for this to get in trouble. Because that you can hold a president hostage for 2 years of his presidency.
Hold the country hostage,
yes,
right? Yeah.
That should be a crime. That should be a crime.
Where this is also leading, even if you're not with Mr. Crawford right now, some of these people should face some type of criminal liability. If you're one of these Republicans, which I might espouse this opinion today, if for nothing more, just to play devil's advocate, I might espouse the opinion of, let's take the moral high ground right now, actually win some legislation, worry about the criminal stuff in the back end. Even if you're not with Mr. Crawford, though, check out this headline, because this is very interesting. John Solomon from The Hill says, as the Russia collusion fades, the Ukrainian plot to help Clinton emerges. I'm telling y'all, from day one, every single thing that they had been claiming that was the Russia plot was exactly to the T what happened with Ukraine and Clinton. The only reason why we cared about Russia because it was the big red scare of Russia. Now, when it comes to Ukraine, that is a good example of actual foreign inclusion.
Which, if you thought about it for 5 minutes, it makes no sense why Russia would want to be aligned with Donald Trump, kicking so many of their diplomats out, putting harder sanctions on them, bringing the American economy to be huge and the best economy in the world again, beefing up our military. Why would Russia want to be an ally with that?
7:20 in the morning, by the way. Hit this first break. Mr. Henry, Mr. Crawford, back doing it big again. Be right back.
Did you actually put our order in?
Hey, Ross! Hey!
Are you with the face?
Hey, you... yeah, you with the face. Hey, you with the face! Hey, Knoxville, I'm Vince Piro.
What?
Hey!
Did you actually put our order in?
Yeah.
No, you didn't.
Yeah.
Right, you have one job. One job here.
Did you tell him? Did you tell him to get me a large coffee?
No.
Come on, girl.
I've got smalls.
Smalls?
I got me one.
Tell him to drive back right now.
I heard it's decaf, too.
Who drinks decaf coffee? That's like drinking non-alcoholic beer.
Old people. They just want to hear that. Taste coffee.
Gross, dude. Nobody likes the taste of alcohol.
Yeah, I don't get it.
All right, so you guys just pay me because they're just going to invoice me, I guess.
What?
Said you guys pay me all of your money.
I'm not giving you any money. I have like
cash.
All of
I
No, I only have a card too. I don't have cash.
have $3 in my pocket. I'll give you that.
I can tip them. You have to tip them?
I don't know. I don't
Tip them.
think
Just
so.
tell them it's on back order for all the free advertising we've given them.
Well, it is free.
Yeah, okay, good.
It's what?
Yeah, Facebook, recognize that. When you make it in this game, you get free small copies.
You're so sad.
You make it on the streets.
So stupid. So dumb. No, we just we signed a contract already. This is part of the contract.
What is that?
Bro, I'm telling you.
So weird.
Since
It's
you've been
so
gone.
weird. It's
Since
so
you've
weird.
been gone. We got all kinds. We got all kinds of studio swag, bro.
What is? Did you bring all this?
Yeah, I did.
No,
Oh,
he's accumulated some of this, and he
I had
brought
a
some of
ukulele
this.
in here one day, man.
Are you a hoarder?
I was uking it up. Ross, tell him about how I uke it up in here.
Oh, I'm gonna play it. I'll play it for him.
Oh, you'll play the uke
Yeah.
intro?
Yeah.
Oh, don't miss
I feel
the...
like that.
Yeah, that's awesome, right? Yeah. Don't miss the Japanese things up there. I'll get busted by my brother.
Don't mess them up.
Yeah, he brought those back. They're super freaking weird. I love them. I love them, okay?
Okay.
What are they?
Little like weird Japanese
might see some flashing lights. Those of you into downtown, beginning to tap the brakes at 75 and 275 and 640. Normal volume inbound Broadway, Fountain City. Did you know that R&M Climate Control offers high efficiency equipment, no money down, free seasonal maintenance? Would you call my company today RM Climate Control at 229-6176. From high over Knoxville, I'm Pete Michaels.
180 over 111, and I had a stroke.
145 over 92, and then I had a heart attack. 150 over 90, and I had a stroke.
This is what high blood pressure sounds like. You might not feel its symptoms, but the results from a heart attack or stroke are far from silent. Get back on your treatment plan or talk with your doctor to create a plan that works for you. Go to loweryourhbp.org.
Everything's changed.
Brought to you by the American Heart Association, American Medical Association, and the Ad Council.
Did you know migraine is a disabling disease affecting over 36 million Americans? The pain of migraine sufferers is often so bad their lives just stop. The American Migraine Foundation helps people living with migraine to find the support and treatment they need. Go to AmericanMigraineFoundation.org. Make your move against migraine.
The Glenn Beck Program, weekday mornings at 10 on Talk Radio 92.3 and AM 760. Knoxville's talk you can trust.
The views and opinions heard on the programs which air on Talk Radio 92.3 and AM 760 are those of the hosts and guests of those programs and not necessarily those of the station or management.
Wednesday, oh, that was super excited about Wednesday for some reason. Yeah! Wednesday! Yay! I was really excited about Wednesday. Why? It's a hump day, man.
Flew in from Miami Beach, BOAC.
No. Hey, 7:25 in the morning.
Welcome back to Real News, ladies and gentlemen. Facebook, by the way, let me know if my audio's clipping out here. It sounds like it is in my headphones, but it probably is not. Chronopolitan call number 865-888-TALK. That's 865-888-8255. Oh, serendipitously, as I say such words, someone calls in right then. It's like, pew, 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 you know, telepathy. You know, Real News audience, Mr. Henry, choo, choo. Those are the telepathy noises, by the way, Mr. Crow. Pew, pew, pew.
Everybody also knows about the look that I'm
yeah,
giving you right now.
You don't have to be on Facebook to understand what's happening there. That's awesome. Hey, loud and clear, Kelly says. Awesome. Hey, by the way, one real quick thing before we get into this video. Let me say right now, and I'll say it throughout the rest of the show, Republicans, it is totally fine to laugh at your Democrat friends today and for the next 2 to 6 years, those Democrat friends that continually want to believe that there is actually something going on with this Russia hoax. Can I just leave it there for that? I mean, I don't know what other reaction to give. I seriously, I don't know what other reaction to give. It is absolutely fine now for someone that comes to you and says, well, I don't know. We still got to rely upon the Southern District of New York. I don't know, man. We still got to wait for Mueller to completely come out with with the bar. A bar needs to come out with the entire report or something.
Has this not been the majority Democrat talking point this entire time? Has it not been? When they're interviewing attorney generals, when they're interviewing potential Supreme Court justices, what is their big question they keep asking? Will you let Mueller continue his term? Will you let Mueller continue the investigation? Will you not interfere with Mueller? All of them said, yeah, that's fine. What you're seeing here now is the Mueller report in its entirety. What you're seeing here is a unaffected, that has not been tampered with, full-on assault by the Democrat Party in this report, and they found nothing. Mueller is supposed to be, and remember how they've set this up. They have set this up as Mueller is the #1 most respected, most important, honest, superhuman being person in Washington, D.C. They said Mueller was a god. No one could question Mueller. Mueller is right on everything. Mueller is just this fantastic individual. And we've got to wait and see his report because we know there will be Russian collusion in it. Well, what happens now? It's out. There is no Russian collusion whatsoever. Zilch. Nada. Nothing. And are they going to do a character assassination against the guy? I thought they just told me that he was a little Boy Scout up there and how great he was and there was nothing wrong with him. That's what they said.
Oh, he was the arbiter of truth. He was the patron saint of
they said he was the modern-day Jesus Christ. If you can, because that's probably a little offensive to some
No, but you're right, but he was the patron saint of investigators, right? I mean, yeah.
Are they going to say he's crooked? They just sold us for the past the media, the politicians, all of these liberals in Washington, your liberal friends, all of them told us that he was the patron saint, Mr. Henry, that he could do no wrong. The man walks on water and turns water into wine, that he is amazing. So what are they going to do now? Say he's awful? Say he's a liar? Say he's crooked? They are too entrenched to do that. They can't do that. Or are they going to say he's dumb? No, he's the most Ivy League educated, intelligent man in America. Robert Mueller says it, and it makes it so. They have dug themselves such a deep hole, such a deep trench on this issue. There is no backpedaling on this. The only true answer that they can give on this is either to shut up and just not talk about it anymore because they realize how much this is going to has blown up in their face. Or they can admit that all this was about was stalling the President of the United States and his agenda for 2 years, and still look at everything he's gotten done. Still look at everything that he has accomplished in his reign as president under the Mueller investigation. And it meant that they were wrong and that they were liars, and this was about petty politics. And the President of the United States is innocent, and he did not collude with the Russians. What he's been saying this entire time.
I got a little clip here, too, pulled up of, by the way, man, we got to figure out how to pull up this Newsbusters clip. It's, I think this computer's too old. We'll figure that out on Roz's computer back there in a second.
The one I just sent you?
Yeah, it's, I think
well, what about the earlier one? The one I had pulled up?
Oh, it's that this computer's software update's too old.
The first one I played a minute ago.
On this computer?
Yeah.
Oh, all right, I'll find that in a second. Here's, by the way, is another clip of Democrats over the last couple of years. I think you'll enjoy this one.
Trump, Putin, Russian collusion.
Trump, Russian sort of collusion.
Trump, Russian, possible collusion. Trump, Russian metal collusion. Trump, Russia, possible collusion.
Trump, Russian metal collusion.
Trump, Russia, possible collusion.
Trump, Russia, possible collusion.
Trump, Russian mob collusion.
Tell me that's not going to be stuck in your head the rest of the day. Trump, Russia, possible collusion.
Now, that's all media members saying that, right? They put it together.
That's exactly right. Here's a few actual Democrats, though, telling you how sure they were.
Trump campaign, now Trump administration scandal, this counterintelligence investigation has specifically been looking into how Russia's intelligence services, their military intelligence wing, how they were trying to mess up our presidential election in 2016, and whether there were Americans who were helping them in that effort.
Intelligence briefings on Russian meddling in the U.S. elections included details of those communications, which included people involved in Mr. Trump's businesses, and these communications were gathered as part of routine U.S. intelligence collection and not because people close to Trump were being targeted. Now, the FBI and U.S. intelligence agencies continue to try to determine what the motive for these communications were. One concern, Don, was whether Trump associates were coordinating with Russian intelligence operatives, and the release of the damaging information about Hillary Clinton campaign, as you'll recall, those emails from the DNC.
Oh, I think that Putin will affect a lot of voters because what it does is you've got...
All right, we don't need to hear any of that. Everybody knows where we are right now for 2 solid years. And the reason why I set that up is because when we come back from this break, I'm going to go into what CNN is now saying is apparently the most important issue to consider. For almost 2.5 solid years, if you really want to take this back, it's been almost 3 years that everyone had this idea of some sense of Russian collusion. Maybe not the Mueller report in particular. But this idea that some sense of Russian collusion has been on the people's minds, on the populace minds, for 3 solid years almost. For 3 solid years. Now, when Mueller finally comes out and gives some, empirical evidence that no, there was no collusion, what he's really talking about, there was no attempted conspiracy. Collusion is not a legal charge. We've said that multiple times. When that has been outright confirmed, the only thing that's left to rely upon at that point is, well, he didn't make a definitive statement on obstruction of justice. I have Alan Dershowitz's statement about that from a year ago, by the way, and I have a panelist from NBC still saying no reasonable prosecutor in their right mind ever would have brought any type of obstruction of justice, not just against the sitting president, against anybody with this type of evidence. Anybody. Because the claim you're hearing now by Don Lemon and the like is that William Barr or Rod Rosenstein or even Mueller to some extent knew well ahead of time because of presidential immunity. That's why they didn't suggest you should go forward in the obstruction of justice charge. Nonsense. Babbage trash, I say. It's nonsense. We have an expert panelist from NBC that's saying not even any... You, Mr. Henry, Roz, they wouldn't have brought an obstruction of justice charge against you. Possibly my favorite thing I'm going to play today, though. Get this. CNN, who all they've covered for the last 2 years has been President Trump and the Russia collusion conspiracy. That's all they've touched for 2 to 3 years in a row. Now CNN is saying from a new poll they conducted that nobody in the country actually cares about the Russia probe anymore. Whoops. 7:33 in the morning. Be right back. Pleased to meet you. Can't you get my something?
I just thought something funny. It was, you know, in
Just trying to find this real quick. Who wrapped the computer up like a gordita?
let me go back. Oh, look at this.
Where'd you be first day? That's funny. That's a funny?
Did you find the one I sent you
On
Facebook?
the one you just sent me on Facebook is the one that won't play.
Oh, that's it. Right. Oh, yeah, that's it. Right there. It won't play on Facebook.
No, it won't play when you go to the site of it either.
Really?
Yeah, Richard. Marshall told me that might happen from time to time here because this software's so old.
Oh wow, that's still on. Maybe Roz could play it.
Yeah, Ross could play it back in her computer.
I shall send it to him. Hey, Roz.
Hey, yo, Roz.
What does it mean when I'm not getting
I'm sending you something.
new emails and
Means you're pregnant.
Nobody likes you.
I can't be pregnant. But if I get new emails and then they say that they keep getting booted.
That wasn't a. Oh, I can't be pregnant. That was no, literally, I can't be pregnant.
Yeah, it's just, and they keep getting what?
I want to like punch you in the face so bad right now. But anyway, that's true. It's true. It's true. They're getting booted. Like people that are saying they're sending me emails, they're saying that it's like getting booted back to their
Check
email.
your spam settings. It's probably too strong. It's just kicking everybody out.
I'm not getting any new emails. Oh.
I just sent you a video, by the way. You need to play it.
Like right now, okay?
Which one?
Oh, 8:30 is Ice Bears, and they have like a couple of players.
Yeah, I know. And it's gonna be so
Well,
awesome.
to make sure that they are hot.
How many players do they have? Do we need that yellow mic?
No, I think it's only 2.
Is Dave in too? Dave in 2 players? So
I don't know if Dave's even going to talk to them.
Yeah, that's right, dude.
He said he doesn't know if he's going to talk.
Yeah, tell Dave to get out of here.
Okay.
Call him right now. Call him. Hit him up and be like, Dave, your time's over, boy. Ross, can we get some chairs in here capable of handling a 6'8" hockey player? Come on.
Got this. You got this, baby. Over here.
Yeah, I don't know. I want to tell you.
Seriously?
Yeah, seriously. That's Marshall.
You're supposed to be smart with this stuff. What were you going to ask me for real? What do you want?
Play the video.
Yeah. Are you going to try and holler at some of these hockey players or something?
No.
No?
Uh-huh.
I'm going to talk to him, though.
Look, that's why she's dressed nice today.
Hey, do you have Facebook pulled up?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
I do. What's that?
John Ashley had some comment in there before. We want to talk about some local story about somebody with taxpayer dollars that was, I don't know. I just don't know if you heard anything about that. Or... Oh yeah, I don't need a converter at all. Don't worry about it, bros. He said if able at some point the payout the commission approved for $93,000 to settle a lawsuit for Evelyn Gill. Evelyn Gill.
No, bro. Don. Don! Know your role, Don. Have you heard this yet? It's my favorite. It's so freaking funny. Why? 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 Facebook, y'all ever feel like punching a computer? Right in the computer face?
This is, of course, a picture of former President Ronald Reagan naturally firing a machine gun while riding on the back of a dinosaur. You'll notice a couple of important features here. First of all, the rocket launcher strapped to President Reagan's back, and then the stirring, unmistakable patriotism of the Velociraptor holding up a tattered American flag, a symbol of all it means to be an American. Now, critics might quibble with this depiction of the climactic battle of the Cold War, because while awesome, in real life there was no climactic battle. There was no battle with or without velociraptors.
Kyle, that's silly. What did the fish say when they hit the rock wall?
Damn!
Did you get it? Have you never heard that before? No.
You have you're kidding.
I thought it was funny.
You've never heard that joke before?
I've never heard that.
That is like the oldest joke of mankind. You've never heard that?
No, I've heard all the jokes about. Oh yeah, I was went and bought me some damn bait down there, fishing off the damn.
You've never heard that?
No. John, let me look up this issue talking about.
I cannot believe this right now.
Ray, what do you mean there's never a witch hunt? I saw you putting some stuff on Facebook about that. I didn't really read through enough to follow your analysis stuff. Evan, good. County settles lawsuit alleging abuse. Oh no. Knox News. Can I get another source? Can a brother get a source, Nick? Yeah, I guess not. Brought to you by AARP. My lord.
I just want to talk. No collusion. I never said anything about collusion. You're the puppet. I just want to ask you some questions about Russia's influence on the 2016 election. Well, you know what I'm going to say. I'm going to say it wasn't me. All right. Special counsel got you sweating like crazy, tweeting that it's a witch hunt. Open up, got some questions about Russia, evidence you should confront. I'm just trying to learn the truth and figure out how much you knew. All this time, my investigation never took its eyes off you.
This damn Russian probe's gonna bite me in a bummer.
Did it ever sound like a Jamaican, Kermit the Frog rapping to you?
It kind of does.
I'm Kermit the Frog,
the name from Jamaica.
A little weird thing in the back of his throat.
I love this. I love this parody. It's great.
I do think the clip you played before that might have been our funniest, or one of the funniest.
Oh,
little...
yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Our Bill Clinton ones are good. You know what I'm
sound
saying,
just like him.
Huh?
You sound just like him.
Yeah, today I can't, but on that one, I did a pretty good
You gotta
job.
have coffee first.
Yeah,
I'll work on it again.
Hey, Miss Rosalind. By the way, we're going to get a little bit local later on in the show. I was just passing some information through Facebook. County settles lawsuit alleging abuse of special needs student by Knox commissioner. I believe her name is Evelyn Gill. Am I pronouncing that correctly? I believe I am. A settlement has been reached in a lawsuit that accused Knox County Commissioner Evelyn Gill of abusing a special needs student when she was his teacher at South Doyle Middle School. Knox County Law Director Bud Armstrong confirmed on Monday. County agreed to spend $93,000 in taxpayer funds. Woo! I could use that money. You want to spend some taxpayer funds, man? Shovel it over Mr. Henry's way. You know what I mean? I haven't even done anything wrong. You just want to support a cause. Come on over. Hey, Raj, you have that clip pulled up, by the way, by chance of what?
Yeah.
That face is like you.
Yeah, of course she does.
Hey, Crown Plaza call number for any of these topics. We're going to bring up the rest of the show. And look, I've been out since like Thursday of last week. I mean, I did the show Thursday. I've been out Friday, Monday, and Tuesday. So I'm just trying to get some of this. Do what?
You're good now?
Yeah, good to go now, man. Been trying to get some of this stuff off my chest for a while because I'm sure everybody's heard most of it, but you need Mr. Henry and Mr. Crawford's opinion on this. Also, if you have opinions on the Jussie Smollett story, here's the thing. Here's where I want to go with the Russia story. I want to ask this question because I don't think anybody's actually asking this question. I want to go with the Jussie Smollett story as well. Let me start with the Russia situation as we're getting this conversation. Keep this in the back of your mind for the Crown Plaza call number and for Facebook as well. Here's my real question. Yes, okay, fine. Trump didn't commit collusion. Nobody ever thought he did. Obstruction of justice, just a weird straw man that's coming through, and it really is, I believe. Nothing's ever going to happen with that. But here's my question right now. Should Republicans capitalize on what we have now and try and go after through some sense of either retribution or vindication or whatever the thing might be? Let's say it's even justified. Let's say it's even the noble thing to do. Should we all agree with Michael Goodwin over at Fox News and say Obama and Clinton should now be probed as well? Or should there be an alternate route that we should take and say, look, let's take this as a win. We have the moral high ground. We have the moral high ground reclaimed right now. Unequivocally, we have that moral high ground back. Because we have now been on a tirade for 2.5 years. By we, I mean Republicans, conservatives, anybody that's not a Democrat, even some independents have been on a tirade for 2.5 years saying, this did not happen. You guys sound like Alex Jones. You're insane. And we're right. And we were right. And we legislated fairly well during the meantime.
More than fairly well. I mean, look at all the success Donald Trump has had in his administration so far. I mean, several people, myself included, are saying Donald Trump is so far one of, if not the most successful presidents we've had in recent history. The amount of good stuff and policy and legislation he's gotten through and just all of his the accomplishments in his administration.
And look, that's why I bring this up, because I'm trying to think of this as a long-term strategy. I'm trying to think of something more than just the next year or two.
Where we have to go down now and get legislation done.
That's what I'm saying. And I look at someone like a Bill Maher, okay? Bill Maher was on his show, and I have the clip pulled up if you want to, but Bill Maher said something to the effect of, I don't need the Mueller report. I have a television to tell me what's going on. Are you kidding me right now, Bill Maher? There are going to be some Democrats that are never going to be convinced of any of this. But I will say right now, the way I'm looking at this right now is a bit tactfully. I want Hillary Clinton to go down as much as the next person. Yeah, but I also understand that having the moral high ground right now will give us an absolute... And it's odd, Nick, because it's also coupled with the exact same timing. I don't know whether this is orchestrated or not, but the same timing that this walk-away movement has been going on. Dude, I have a headline from, I want to say Rolling Stone, I'll pull this up here in a second, saying that this issue right now is our generation's version of the WMDs. Now, that was the whole thing of when we were going into Iraq. Fox News and their mothers and everyone else swore to us. Bush swore to us that he had intelligence, that they had weapons of mass destruction. The aluminum tubes, you know what you can do with yellow cake? They got that yellow cake. You know what you can do with yellow cake? We heard that for years, but nothing ever came through. We never saw any evidence of that. This right now has become our generations of the WMDs. And what I'm saying, Nick, is, as our little Japanese guy dies, what I'm saying, man, is that sounded racist out of context. There's a little figurine in the studio here. He was up on a prop. He fell off the thing. Anyways, what I'm saying right now is we could possibly use this time as not playing the same game as Democrats, being better than a fellow Democrat, not going through a quote-unquote supposed witch hunt. Because I'll tell you, man, we start going after, and I'm trying to be careful saying this because I know a lot of the Real News audience can be like, dude, Mr. Henry, stop that nonsensical trash talk right now. We need these people to pay for what they've done. I get it. I do. I'm just saying maybe right now is not the best time. Give it another 2 years. That's all I'm saying. Because what's we're going to come back
Bring
with
it up
is
as a campaign issue.
Yeah, man, right?
Right now, really get some legislation going. Put on the gas. Go faster. That we have the moral high ground right now. We should be able to get some stuff done. Don't go back down and bring it back into the trenches and divide people again. We won a huge victory this week. Let's use that. I think a great campaign issue would be going into 2020 with some litigation against Obama, against Hillary Clinton, to fire up the base. That might be better, but we need to get some good stuff done right now first.
That's what I'm saying, and use this time to capitalize. First of all, let's get another Supreme Court justice when RGB steps down, okay? Let's get some great legislation being passed through. Let's make sure to stifle and shut down this stupid socialism talk once and for all. Let's have that debate, and at the same time, in the midst of this walk-away movement, let's be able to truly pitch to other like-minded individualist individuals. This is what I mean, okay? Think about the underlying tenets of libertarianism or the underlying tenets of general conservative thought. By and large, it's something akin to, hey, we don't like Republicans. I mean, so we don't like Republicans. Roz, by the way, she's talking on the phone with somebody. Hang on a second. I'll do this for her. Hey, callers on line 2 and 3. Hang on a second for I know you can hear me there. Callers on line 2 and 3. Hang on just a second. We'll get your screen here in just a second. What I was saying is, conservatism in general has an underlying philosophy of government is generally bad. Government in general messes up most stuff. Look at the post office, bro. Mm-hmm. I mean, prior to other third parties coming in, the privatization of that situation coming in, it really didn't do that great. The general idea of conservatism and libertarianism is you are an individual and you probably know how to run your life better than anybody else. More importantly, I see some sense of a spark of divinity in you to steal from Pelosi, much like I hope you would see in me. Because I see that as well, you run your life. You do you, let me do me. And unless and until your liberty comes and encroaches upon my liberty, we don't have a problem. Yeah. And I'm saying this, man, because to the LGBT community, how attractive of a position is that? All I've heard from anybody in a marginalized minority community has been, I just want to be seen as a human being. Yes, exactly. But Democrats are not doing that for you. Your identity is defined by the government itself. You are non-existent unless that philosophy tells you how to exist.
But I don't think they really want that. Because you look at the gay marriage argument, saying that all they wanted was to live their lives and marry who they want to, and they want nothing else. Was that true? But no, that wasn't true. They always want something more.
But
it's not as simple as that.
That libertarian thing is so empowering at a personal level.
But to a lot of people, it's not. A lot of people, you have personal responsibility. You want to live your life, and you just want to be left alone. A lot of people don't. They want you to swallow their life as well. They want the handout. They want the special. They want to feel that they are some interesting person and that they deserve something. A lot of people feel that way. And the idea that keep the government off your back doesn't sound good to them. To them, they want the idea of I've been marginalized and I've been hurt and I want to take from other people to give it to myself. You look at this huge socialist movement right now. They don't want to just live their life. They want to take every successful thing that's been in America and redistribute it and give it to them. But why? Because they feel like they have been oppressed because they're not a millionaire. They feel like they're oppressed because of what has happened in this country. That you are speaking to an entire group of people that in large amounts you will never reach.
And one last time I'll pose it. We'll hit this break and come back. Stimpy, Ray, and Roberta, I want to give you all enough time. We have to hit y'all after 8 o'clock here. Into the 8 o'clock hour. One more time I'll pose for the Real News audience here. Look, which way do you want to go with this? Do you want to take this opportunity right now and destroy the Clintons, destroy the Obamas? And it's not going to be worth it unless we see someone like their last name go down. Mark my words. Unless you get a Loretta Lynch, unless you get an Obama, unless you get a Susan Rice, unless you get a Hillary Clinton, it is not going to be worth the effort we're put into this, okay? Or do you want to go the alternate route? Try and take some of these independents, try and take some of these Democrats over and let them wake them up and say it's okay to think for yourself. And conservatism is the only philosophy, the only philosophy that's going to allow you to do that. For the next 2 years, let's capitalize on this moral tsunami we have going on right now. Then for the next 4 years after that, I don't know, man. Maybe we can start tracking down the deep state then. Maybe I'm wrong. Tell me I am. 7:53. Come back with a short segment. Be right back.
T-Rock, what's up, buddy? I stole some stuff from your room, as you see. And don't get me wrong, Nick, I'm not sold on this opinion yet. I just think, like, what I just said. I'm not totally sold yet because, again, for the last 2 years, I've been saying the people that orchestrated the whole witch hunt, I want to see them go down. But at the same time, man, I know the Democrat retort already. Already I know it's going to be, Uranium 1 has already been investigated. Benghazi's already been investigated. The email stuff has already been investigated. Anything we would want additional special counsel for, Democrats are going to have something, some fodder in the bag, at least for the next year or two to stall this, to say, we've already looked into it. What are you Republicans doing playing that, rehashing that same game? It's only out of a sense of vindication. You guys are starting to be some sort of vindictive, you just want retribution. You want revenge of some sense, right? I mean, and the other side of me is like, well, if that's true, then let's use this right now to show. Turns out Republicans were right for 2 years. So let's calm it down, slow down the rhetoric, and repackage and repitch specifically to Democrats why our values are better.
I don't think anything would actually happen if we had an investigation. I think an investigation is just trying to make the right feel better. That's all that would come out of that. So that's why I think legislation is more important. I would rather say that we had this win, this win, this win, and this win versus going after our own witch hunt.
No, I know, right. The boys are back in town.
Hey, my name is Mr. Henry. I'll finish this out in the next 2 minutes we have here. Stimpy, Ray, and Roberta probably going to have to hang through the hard break for me because I want to give you all at least about 2 to 3 minutes each here if I can. We got a lot of people on Facebook. My brother just born. Eric's there. Ray's there. Kelly's there. Norm, what's up, buddy? I saw some new folks on Facebook as well before. Hunter, man, I don't know if you're still in here. What's up, buddy? Yes. Yeah, exactly. Okay, exactly. Hunter says Republicans should pounce on the Ukrainian collusion story, Politico 2017. Yeah. Yes, man. And again, I don't know if Hunter's here again. He's apparently, you live in Russia? How did Hunter hear about the show living in Russia? Sky Hunter's on Facebook as someone. That was really funny, Nick. That was awesome. That was pretty perfect. How did Hunter living in Russia hear about this story? Collusion. That's right. Oh, man.
Hey, when you're right, you're right.
Anyways, he says, as someone living in Russia through this whole Trump-Russia saga, it's so gratifying to watch the media meltdown. Hunter's dead right. And Hunter's also right talking about Republicans should pounce on the Ukrainian collusion story. Let me say it one more time. When I said before...
I know Hunter.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
All right. Well, there you go. When I said before that I don't think Republicans should spend a lot of time, at least right now, trying to rehash the old, Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, Susan Rice, it's not going to be worth it unless we get some of those last names. If we pull out a bunch of random ancillary players in the back end of this stuff, people you've never heard of before, like a Peter Strzok before Peter Strzok was Peter Strzok. If there's some, if we go ahead and put Peter Strzok in jail, it's not going to be nearly as meaningful as if it would be if we put Susan Rice there. And I already know the Democrat retorts if we try and push this too hard too early. The Democrats' retorts are going to be, we've already investigated Benghazi. We've already investigated the email scandal. We've already investigated Uranium 1. We've already investigated all this stuff. Now, I understand the people that were investigating all that nonsense were the same people that are involved in propagating this Russia witch hunt that's going on now. I get that. I do. All I'm saying, though, is now the most prudent time to do what we could possibly do. And when Hunter brings up something talking about go look into the Russia-Ukrainian story, he knows what I'm talking about. Because if we can establish through the Russia-Ukrainian story that something actually did happen by way of collusion of a foreign entity, that has not been investigated before, that does not look like some type of vindictive, play of just wanting to get revenge, then we can make a serious argument of, hey, now we can actually get our foot in the door of the Clintons, while at the same time showing this is Republicans maintaining that moral high ground. This is what a witch hunt does not look like. This is what actual collusion from a foreign entity does look like. If we can put all these things on the table and at the same time, what I'm talking about here, y'all, is a generational change. And Roz, we're probably going to hit this break. I think we're at 59. Yeah, we got to get out. I'm talking about a generational change here. Do you understand what I'm saying? For not just our generation, Nick's generation, I'm talking the children coming forward. If we can convince them now of the true tenets of conservatism, of the true fiber of what this country is, I think, man, it'll be a bigger win than anything that ever could have happened. 7:59, be right back.
Collusion, no collusion, no collusion, no collusion, no.
It's crazy how fast these people make these songs.
I know, dude. I'll leave you out with this face.
You're in charge of it. How high do you go?
You should like this. It's, Hey, Knoxville. I'm Ben Shapiro. I'm an overachiever. This is people being asked in somewhere in LA what the minimum wage should be. It's pretty sweet.
I'd go to 20.
Why not more?
I don't know.
Not 100?
No, maybe not 100, but
Everybody could be making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year.
that'd be cool.
To many, raising the minimum wage seems like a no-brainer. It certainly did to the people we talked to in Silver Lake, a trendy hipster enclave in Los Angeles. If the poorest workers can simply make more money per hour, they'll be lifted out of poverty, right?
So would you mind just, choose putting an X
How do
next
you like
to the minimum wage that you'd like to see? Definitely not $5. Probably not $100. I don't know, I'm guessing 15 kind of seems about right.
Probably $15, $16 an hour, maybe even 17.
Let's go 18 an hour. What a laugh that is.
Woo! Let's go for $25 an hour. Make it something real. $15 an hour is sustenance wages.
But would supporters change their minds if drastic wage hikes resulted in some nasty unintended consequences, both for the poor and for others?
Honestly, the minimum wage is going to raise, and then everything around it's going to raise, so I don't really know if it makes too much of a difference.
And so what do you think the level of minimum wage should be?
I don't know.
She's in good company. A majority of economists agree that minimum wage hikes cause some increase in unemployment, but the exact outcomes of a particular hike could vary wildly from one local economy to the next, and the results are difficult, if not impossible, to determine. Even as he was signing the new $15 minimum wage into law recently, California Governor Jerry Brown still seemed a little ambivalent.
Economically, minimum wages may not make sense, but morally and socially and politically, they make every sense because it binds the community together.
I don't know what makes economic sense. I don't know. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. I think that it will be a big adjustment, but people will survive like they always do.
And so do you think that there's a possibility if you raise it too high that people like in summer jobs or for kids or just intra-level positions that they might have a tougher time getting a job?
They probably will, because then there'll be, I guess, supervisors or hiring managers will start looking more at experience or education because they're paying a little bit more.
There's evidence that young, inexperienced workers are some of the hardest hit by minimum wage hikes. New Zealand acted as a sort of natural experiment. When the government stopped allowing lower wages for younger, part-time workers, youth unemployment skyrocketed while the rate held steady among older workers. A similar spike in unemployment happened when England raised the minimum wage for young workers. And it's not just the young. The people most likely to lose job prospects or hours are the very people the minimum wage is supposed to help. A 2014 Congressional Budget Office report estimated that an increase in the federal minimum wage from its current $7.25 an hour to $10.10 an hour would lead to the loss of 500,000 jobs, mostly among America's poorest workers. And most economic analyses find no connection between a higher minimum wage and reductions in poverty.
Progress causes pain sometimes, I guess, and if it costs a few jobs, that'd be fine. Overall, I think it'd be good, though. We need to do it.
Do you think at the end of
the day that it would be better for, let's say, lower income people or in entry level jobs to raise the wage, even if some of them might lose their jobs or have fewer hours?
I think overall it would be a better thing.
So if people lose their jobs, would you still like to see the minimum wage doubled?
No, not really. I mean, then there'd just be more unemployment, right? So it kind of doesn't work out that way either.
Silver Lake is a part of LA known for its quirky local businesses and its coffee shops. The kind of place where people are willing to pay a premium to avoid products deemed overly corporate.
Where is that from?
This is from Intelligentsia Cafe.
What's that?
It is a coffee shop.
Right here, local?
Right here, local.
Why do you like it?
Because it's great quality. It's local. I've been coming here since the day they opened.
Is it expensive? How much was that?
For most people, they would consider this expensive. It was $9.50 for a cup of tea, a cup of coffee.
Can I ask, what's the most you've ever spent on a shirt?
On a shirt? Oh my God. You have to say more than $200.
Let's say that. Okay, yeah.
But these kinds of local businesses are exactly the types of places minimum wage critics argue are often hurt most because they don't have a corporate parent to lean on.
Say, like, Puerto Loco is a corporation. Everything is turning corporate.
Do you think increasing the minimum wage could accelerate that, turning corporate, if they're the only ones that can take that hit?
It seems logically speaking that would be the case.
Do you think that there would be any issues with, businesses closing as a result?
Yeah, definitely. Right here was Casbah Cafe, but that just closed. Rent is getting too high for all these places to survive.
The trade-off is that, some smaller places that can't absorb that money, that they would have to close. Do you think that that's worth it?
That's a shame, but I feel like maybe there could be like a government loan or a subsidy or something that could help.
There are at least two options on our survey that nobody chose, $100 and $0. But why not abolish the minimum wage altogether?
What do you think would happen if there were no minimum wage?
People would, there would be slave labor. Because people are monsters.
Why not get rid of the minimum wage?
Because then I think bosses might lower, what they give as a minimum.
They would have people working for nothing if they could.
Would abolition of the minimum wage really lead to slave labor in Silver Lake? No. And could there be legitimate arrangements where people work for little or no money because it gives them the chance to gain valuable experience or make important professional contacts? After all, people pay thousands of dollars to work state-sanctioned, university-sponsored internships. And many may prefer to work in a small bookstore or nonprofit over a fast food job, even if they earn less. So how are people who lack the time, money, and, dare we say, privilege?
Bob just told me that Fox... What video?
No, we sent it.
Oh, right. Yeah, we'll come back to that, I guess.
Yeah.
Michelle Obama, Jussie Smollett.
Did Michelle Obama's office have a role in shutting the Jussie Smollett case down? Now follow me here. Just days after Smollett reported his alleged hate crime to police, and the Cook County State's Attorney Kim Foxx tried to persuade Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson to turn the investigation over to the FBI. Kim Foxx, Smollett, reported his alleged hate down. Now follow me here. Just days after Smollett reported his alleged hate crime to police, and the Cook County State's Attorney Kim Foxx tried to persuade Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson to turn the investigation over to the FBI. Now, the request came after Fox received this text, according to the Chicago Sun-Times, from Tina Chen.
So much stuff to touch on today. Jeez.
A Chicago attorney and former chief of staff
You see what
for former
Norm's
First
talking
Lady
about on
Michelle
Facebook?
Obama.
No, is he
In his kids' class in high school, it was an econ class. The teacher is advocating for a $15 minimum wage.
No, really?
Yeah.
Awesome. I don't know if you heard any of that clip that I was just playing before, but I don't understand how people don't realize, like, that's only going to hurt the mom and pop shops.
Yeah.
Like, your Walmarts and McDonald's could eat that cost.
Maybe.
I mean, they can eat it by firing people.
But they just won't choose to. Yeah.
Well, Walmart can fire 2,000 people and eat that cost and have no problem, but your mom and pop coffee
They
shop down
literally
the
can't
street,
eat
they
that,
can't.
because they already have 1 or 2 employees. That's all they can afford.
Right.
So then it just turns into mom and pop.
And I don't know what the hell these kids are talking about, dude. Like, I worked for a judge for a year for free. Like, there's such a thing called an internship. Right. People, like, you want to get your foot in the door of an industry.
Right.
Sometimes you just have to work your butt off doing it.
Right.
Quote, I wanted to give you a call on behalf of Jussie Smollett and family, who I know. They have concerns. Just First Lady Michelle, Chicago attorney and former chief of staff for former First Lady Michelle Obama. Quote, I wanted to give you a call on behalf of Jussie Smollett and family, who I know. They have concerns about the investigation. Shortly after that, a Smollett family member reached out to Fox, having been given her number by Obama's former assistant. Well, Fox then replied in a text message that she, quote, spoke to the superintendent and that she was, quote, trying to figure out logistics. The relative then replied, OMG, this would be a huge victory, referring to the FBI taking over the case. Fox then texted, I make no guarantees, but I'm trying. This is so great. So let me get this straight. The top prosecutor at the office that ultimately decided not to prosecute Smollett was actively seeking to help the defendant. And this was all set in motion by Michelle Obama's former chief of staff.
That is F, dude.
We're picking many answers for us. You're really.
Babe.
Hey, at 11 in the morning. 8:11 in the morning. Welcome back to Real News, ladies and gentlemen. There's so much stuff going on today. So many other random articles. I don't know if we're going to get to the Russia collusion fades, Ukrainian plot to help Clinton emerges story. I have to touch on this Jussie Smollett story because Ray wants to comment on this as well. Some information that just came through. I'm sure other people knew about this. Bob Bell just turned me on to this as well. Apparently, Michelle Obama was working directly with or indirectly with the state prosecutor. So the person that was supposed to be prosecuting Jussie Smollett was now actively working with Michelle Obama to help the defendant. Mm-hmm. I'll say that to you one more time. Apparently, the person that was in charge of prosecuting Jussie Smollett, that means, I'll break it down real simple. The person that was supposed to bring charges and convict him of being guilty, or it proved the case that he was guilty of fabricating a fake charge of MAGA hat wearers. That same person was actively working with Michelle Obama to help the defendant not get charges.
And you know who she was paid by, right? George Soros.
Come on, man.
Over $100,000.
Like you can't
Michelle just has to, support her LGBT community. That's what I think.
No, I think you're right. Ross, can I get this computer going here? Before,
can you believe that? George Soros paid this woman over $100,000.
The two questions I want to pose for today,
she ruled the way she did.
Again, is all right. I'm going to go to Stimpy first, then Roberta because they're talking collusion. Then I'll go to Ray because we're talking Jussie Smollett. Switch the topic up a little bit. We do have the Ice Bears folks in here at 8:30, so we may have to hold off on some of this until 9. We'll figure out how to work this all through. Two questions I have today regarding these two stories in particular, and there's a slew of other stories we may have to touch on throughout the week, but that's cool. We got prep. Story one is, given the Russia situation right now, that there is no collusion, that it's highly, highly, highly likely there will be nothing at all involved with the obstruction. Not even highly likely, nothing's coming from the obstruction. Should we capitalize on that right now and start going hard after the Obama? Should we play the same game as the Democrats are playing? Or Do you go a little bit for what Mr. Henry's advocating right now? And I say Mr. Henry because it's not necessarily Grant advocating for this. This is the on-air personality Mr. Henry potentially advocating for. Is it a smarter play to try and capitalize on the moral high ground and repackage and repitch conservatism, libertarianism, whatever it is, back to these independents or back to these Democrats that are leaving the party like droves, like animals scurrying away from the sinking ship? Roz, we're getting this computer. With that being said, before I get to Stimpy, then I'll go to Roberta. Let me show you where CNN is coming from yet one more time. Okay, so we all know, I don't know how many times we have to play these clips of CNN, MSNBC, ABC, NBC, all of them, swearing to us for the last 2 years. I mean, did you hear Chris Matthews' meltdown? Mm-hmm. Well, if Mueller didn't have anything, why didn't he go after this? Why was he lying to us basically for 2 years? Bro, y'all were complicit in the lies, okay? Come on.
They all knew.
Yeah.
They all knew it was a lie. They were just playing along because they wanted it to be true. They were hoping if they said it enough people would buy it and it wouldn't matter.
And these pundits that keep coming out with this nonsense saying, all right, well, Russia got exactly what they wanted, sowing discord. Yeah, because the Democrat media helped them do it. Because you gave them to it. You gave it to Russia. Russia didn't get exactly what they wanted just because they were so great at manipulating Facebook. That's outrageous. They got what they wanted because you, the Democrat media, ran with this trash for 2.5, 3 years. Yeah. Now, all of a sudden, CNN, who was the most complicit in everything, is saying this.
Sort of. Sort of. I'd like to think I'm at least a little younger than William Barr. So, look. This is a recent poll we just asked. We open-ended it, said, okay, what's the most important issue for your 2020 vote? So voters...
By the way, this was taken yesterday. Yesterday, by the way. Get this.
Pretty much anything. But look at this. Look where the Russia investigation, 0% said that was the most important to their vote in 2020. Exactly. 0.
So this is now CNN admit. What are you admitting? What point are you trying to prove to me, CNN, that for the last 2 years you've been reporting on nothing else than the least important news of the year? Mm-hmm. For the last 2 years, you've been solely reporting on what 0% of your people, of your viewers are concerned about? What point are you trying to prove right now? That you're a terrible journalistic institution?
I mean, who should buy into them ever again? This is not just they made a mistake once. This is not an opinion show. This is not something like that. This is, for 2 solid years, they ran as news. They ran as news that the Russian collusion story was real. I mean, Roz has a clip that has all of them saying this. I mean, all of them for years buying into this.
Look at these comments from the top comments now. Technical difficulties. Please stand by, but we'll figure out how to blame Trump. CNN reported on a witch hunt for 24/7 for 2 years that had no meaning to their viewers. CNN is now worthless. The only step left is for the deep state to send out I'm not going to read the rest of that.
Respondents said Russia. And, one of the things we were talking about, healthcare, obviously, the Trump administration wants to get rid of the ACA. Look at that. It ranks significantly higher. So of the news that's
significantly higher? Significantly higher. I'm looking at these stats right now. Let me break down these stats for you. Okay, so you just heard this CNN pundit say that 0% of people are actually concerned about the Russia investigation. What? So you've been wasting your viewers' time for 2 years. And more importantly, CNN, you knew these polls well ahead of time. You knew nobody cared about the Russian investigation, which also means that at best you were being disingenuous. At worst, you were straight lying to the people watching your program. Now here's the rest of the breakdown. When he immediately jumps over and says, look how high people's concern is for healthcare. That's at 8%. By the way, look what's at the top of these polls from CNN's own poll. Number 1. Immigration. And the way they did this poll, by the way, people could fill out whatever they want to. There was no standard fill in the blank type thing. It was just a random thing of a blank piece of space saying, what is the most important issue to you? You can fill in whatever you want to. You can fill in as many things as you want to. Immigration, 20% of people responded saying immigration is most concerning to them. Economy, 16% said that was most concerning to them. What are the 2 things that Trump is pushing so hard in his presidency? 20% immigration, 16% economy. Those are the 2 things. Those are the 2 things. The vast majority, apparently, of CNN viewership is saying the 2 things that Trump is focused on are also the 2 things that I'm worried about. And you're wondering why I'm saying now it's probably a better tactic at this time period to maintain, capitalize on the moral high ground. Take these type of stats, these type of polling, switch it back around and say, oh, so apparently everybody is concerned about immigration. Apparently everybody is concerned about the economy. And apparently nobody is concerned about this Republican collusion nonsense. So let's capitalize on that. Trump has the playing cards right here. Oh, and by the way, 34% of their polls said other, which clearly means, first of all, I have no idea what your viewers even want.
Nope.
It's certainly not the Russia stuff. And if you can't figure out what 34% of your viewers are actually concerned about, you should probably just get off the airwaves. It's my opinion. Hit this break right now. Come back with Stimpy, then Roberta. Get into the Jussie Smollett story. Oh, right. Here's the Jussie Smollett story. Given, so you know my thing of the Russia. Which way do you want to take this? Go after the Obamas or maintain the moral high ground, do some actual good legislation? Here's the second question for the day, Jussie Smollett. Is it important to you that this guy actually pays something? Especially now, in light of the idea that Michelle Obama, highly likely that Michelle Obama was trying to influence this on the back end. Is it important to you that Jussie Smollett actually goes down for this, or are you okay letting this one slide? 818, be right back.
I think in principle it is. I think in reality it's whatever.
Honestly, dude, I think the better thing, and I know this sounds ridiculous, I want him to pay legally. But I'd much rather see him never have an acting gig.
I agree.
Because that's
That'd
like
be a lot bigger.
Yeah, that's real. As far as Hollywood justice is concerned, that's real Hollywood justice.
Important people's vote in 2020. I would honestly argue that the healthcare news is far more important than the Russia investigation.
There were multiple responses allowed.
Multiple responses.
You could say anything you wanted.
You could say anything. You could say the Boston Red Sox.
As many times as you wanted.
Right.
And zero people, zero times.
Zero times. So what's the most important issue? And you could record multiple responses. Zero people said zero times.
Well,
Russia.
Stop the presses. Most important issue to people's lives, of course, it's not.
Most important issue to their vote in 2020.
Okay.
Most important issue. But here, look at this. This is a Fox News poll. The Mueller report, will it change your view of Donald Trump? 41% said no chance. Only 7% said there was a strong chance that whatever he said could change your view. And you know,
what producer let this dude on air? Seriously.
I don't know.
Who's that Facebook? If y'all took philosophy and or psychology, I mean, in high school, right? Remember that case study about that guy? He was working on railroads, and something happened with a railroad tie that went through his chin and severed his frontal lobe from the rest of his brain. And the guy had literally no short-term memory. I mean, like his wife could come in the room, introduce herself to him as his wife, leave for 2.5, 3 minutes, come back in the room and have to reintroduce. Like he literally had no short-term memory at all. I swear this is what CNN is like with their audience members. They're treating them as if 24 hours ago they have no memory of how they were handling the Russia story, and now all of a sudden, the whole time nobody cared about it. I don't know, man. Maybe Republicans have something to blame there too. Oh, I need a 1/8 to 4/8 converter.
Is this because you shaved?
$8:21 in the morning. Welcome back to Real News, ladies and gentlemen. Let me say this one more time because Facebook got it. Everybody took high school psychology. What was that case study where there was a guy working on a railroad and he was tying in some railroad tie or something? And
was he working on it all the live long day?
Nick's on there with the jokes this morning. They're all pretty good too. It's awesome.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
So he was working on this railroad, and this railroad tie, something happened where it actually went through his chin and severed his frontal lobe from the rest of the cortex. And the guy ended up having no short memory. I mean, his wife could come into a room, introduce herself to him as his wife, would leave the room, come back 2 minutes later and be like, oh, you're beautiful. Who are you? I'm your wife type thing. He had no short-term memory. I swear this is how CNN...
I think he's acting. That was a pulley right there. That was
he was just trying to get some brownie points.
Are you an angel? Man, you are beautiful. That's a smart man right there. He got the doctor to sign off on it.
You ever seen that guy who just got done with like wisdom teeth surgery or some major surgery? He's all doped up.
And you're my wife?
You're my wife? You could be a model. Dude, he knew exactly what he knew. Dude knew exactly what he was doing. Hey, you're my wife? Yeah.
Yeah.
You're my wife when he gets back home, too. That's exactly what's going on.
No mess up there. That man was fully firing that morning. Let me tell you what.
He planned that whole thing ahead of time, too, right? Anyway, knowing it was going to go viral.
Ross is laughing right now because she's like, you know what? That would work.
Knowing it was going to go viral, and then whatever he does for the rest of his marriage, he can just play that video back to her. 5 million views, honey. 5 million views.
Me calling you an angel.
Am I wrong?
Did you see that?
Yeah.
Did the neighbors have that? Did your ex-boyfriend have that? No. No, you didn't.
The point I'm making is I swear CNN treats their audience as if they have some type of I don't know, long-term, short-term memory loss. Where for 24 hours ago, they completely forget that they were covering the Russia story. Now, all of a sudden, these stats come out and say that 0% of their viewers are even concerned about it. Let me get Stimpy enough time and Roberta enough time here. Let's see. Stimpy, let's go to you first. I want to get Roberta in as well before we get to the Ice Bears, folks. So probably about 2 to 3 minutes for you each. Then we'll get to Ray after all this. Stimpy, what's on your mind, buddy? Stimpy, can you hear me? We're good? Yeah? Let me go to Roberta first, see if she can hear me. Hang on. Roberta, you on line with us? Can you hear me?
Yes, I am. And I've got so much going, I'm ready to get on a soapbox at Market Square. But anyway, a bird flies off in the air, but it comes back to Earth to build its nest. And I realize this is an old woman ranting, but there are things that need to be done, a foundation laid. Doesn't matter which the politics are. But let me interject something before my short-term memory goes. Mueller could not exonerate Bush. He didn't have the authority to do that. He was an investigator. Nobody could exonerate until after there had been a trial, which there wasn't. So that is malarkey that they're tossing out there as to the after effects of that. But anyway, coming back to Trump, like him or not, he is our president. We need to hold his feet to the fire when he goes off key. But we need to be praying for that man and surround him and keep him surrounded in God's light and love, or the chances are, I don't think his chances are, I think he's in great danger, let me rephrase that either assassination or impeachment, but they don't want that man in office and running again. And so we need to be aware of that and uphold him, and to let him know that we are, and that when he does things like endorse the red flag thing and so forth, call him on it. He'll get the message. But anyway, and vengeance isn't our job. Correction is. There is a vast difference. But first of all, our planet is falling apart. Our nation is falling apart. We've got three in particular in charge there, 2 Muslims and this darling little girl from the bartender. They're like kids who are tearing something apart that they have no idea how to put back together again, or any desire to. They're like a 7-year-old dismantling a clock to see what makes it tick. But anyway, we have these problems ahead of us, but we have the floods in the middle of our country. And this is I grew up on a farm. But anyway, they can't plant this summer. And we got to provide for ourselves. And in order to get through what I see it coming. But we need to gather together in units of like-minded people.
And Roberta, I want to be able to give Stimpy enough time to get his words out there, too. I will say, as I let you go here, though, it's very interesting to me to consider then Representative Jerry Nadler, Democrat from New York, when he sat in the House Judiciary Committee on December 10th of 1998, when we're talking about Bill Clinton. We all remember the argument he made when you were talking about Trump, either being taken out one way or another. Jerry Nadler back then made the argument regarding Bill Clinton, citing an argument from Benjamin Franklin made in the Constitutional Convention. Quote, Benjamin Franklin called impeachment a substitute for assassination. That's that same Jerry Nadler now that's demanding the entirety of the full report to come out because he wants to, I guess, rinse, repeat, and recycle, except in a different vein now. But Roberta, we always appreciate your calls. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you, Roberta. There goes Roberta. Stimpy, let's try you one more time, buddy. Can you hear us, buddy? Stimpy? Stimpy! Stimpy! What about Ren, man? Did Ren take the phone from you? I'll put Stimpy back on hold there. Look, again, Nick, let me ask you, man, too, as on the way out here, we got 2 minutes left. We got the Ice Bears buddies back there in the booth. What's up? I'm looking at him right there. I like the wave he's giving. That's fantastic. Where do you feel about the question I posed as far as considering what the Republican move now should be? Look, and I'll say one more time, I want to see the Obamas.
Is that what you mean?
No, I mean, like, do you want to go right now? Because, frankly speaking, we could use this and be as vindictive as the Republicans wanted to. We could take down the Obamas. We could go after Susan Rice. We could go after all these folks that propagated the witch hunt. We could go after Clinton for the Ukrainians. We could do all that stuff. Yeah. Should we do that, or should we claim, okay, look, let's calm down the rhetoric for a little while. Let's repackage and repitch conservatism. I don't want to play the same. I don't want to do the same game that the Democrats did. Where do you stand on that, though?
No, I agree with you completely on that. I think we should focus on legislation. I think we should focus on solutions. I think we should focus on getting some key elements of legislation and things the president wants to get done. Get that done. I think getting back bogged down in the Russian collusion stuff is the wrong move. I think people know now that it was nothing, that there was nothing there. And people that don't want to believe that won't ever believe that and won't ever change their minds on that. So I think we've already won the battle. There's no point in relishing in trying to rub it in their faces more.
And I got to be honest, though, Nick, I do have a sense of a bit of cognitive dissonance going on here because part of me wants to say when Trump comes out and says we need to make sure that this never happens to another president again, I agree.
No, I agree completely.
But the only way you make that happen is by making an example of somebody with legislation. But wouldn't you also have to make an example of somebody? Wouldn't you also have to say, here are the people?
I think there has been an example made. I think the point that they've spent this amount of time, resources, effort into this, and there is still no collusion. There is still no evidence of collusion. I think that is the lesson that has been given to them. Give me the number one talking point of the Democrat Party and the liberal media over the past 2 years. Russian collusion. Yeah. And what do they have now? By their own top dog, their own savior has come out and said, yeah, I got nothing. Yeah, that's the lesson.
And now Don Lemon wants to come out and swear to the CNN audience. But importantly, be clear. Be clear, Mueller was very clear also about the fact that Russia did actually try and influence our election. Russia worked and coordinated. They hacked the DNC and they also tried to hack the RNC. And I kind of want to say, okay, fine. Let's take your word for that, Don. Shouldn't that make you even more proud of our sitting president? That they tried to influence him and they weren't able to? That they tried to hack the RNC and they weren't able to? That as much as the Russian effort actually was something that has something to contribute towards it, that we should talk about it, in spite of all that Russia tried to do to influence our election, now we also have definitive evidence to show that Trump was above reproach on that? I'm not even sure what the point you're trying to prove there is. 8:31 in the morning, hit this break, come back with some Ice Bears folks talking hockey, all that good stuff. Be right back.
That's my favorite type of wine. What's up, guys? Hey, man. Grant. Scott. Nice to meet you.
How you doing?
Scott. Doug? Yep. Grant, nice to meet you. Grant and Nick. Yeah, we'll shove you on the corners here if that's all right, man.
Perfect. That's perfect.
Oh, I gotta get a converter for that headphone real quick.
So no politics?
What?
Is there anything y'all want to hit on specifically, other than, I guess, the
Honestly, they
obvious?
just told us we're coming here to talk about hockey with you guys. So.
I got some notes ready.
Okay.
If you want us to get specific about something, we have a game on Saturday that they gave us.
Okay, yeah, let's go over that. Game, how the season's going, things people should know, any special events or anything. Is there a theme for the game?
Saturday is Tennessee Smokies night.
Okay.
So their that baseball team's kind of partnering with us. For
Yeah,
it. We got
we're
some
their
stuff
official
going on,
partner
so.
for radio.
Okay,
so,
perfect.
Yeah.
You got all
Do you want me to say the promotional stuff?
I mean, it's only one thing.
That's what I'm saying.
Season's going terrible. I'm tired.
Plug that into that guy.
Yeah, we're out of coffee, so Bossy, you got something.
Nice gas station coffee.
Yeah, the best stuff ever.
Y'all care if I put you on Facebook Live, by the way? Oh, yeah.
Just tag my mom, please.
Pull apart now. Hi, Mom.
Oh.
Yeah, no.
Nice. Yeah, it's Amiibo.
It automatically focuses on who's talking and all that kind of stuff.
Right. What slot is you guys showing? Like hour-wise?
7 to 10.
Yeah, we're actually live right now.
Yeah.
Here's the way I want to handle this next segment, y'all. Kind of instead of talk radio formats, bing, bang, bang, like in your face all the time. I kind of just made this like a podcast thing. Just us talking hockey, what y'all do, positions you play, how you got involved, how kids can get involved. People actually play hockey in Tennessee. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
People watch hockey in Tennessee.
Honestly, that'd be awesome, man.
Y'all's fans are friggin' rabid, dude.
They're
I'm not
crazy.
gonna lie.
Dude, crazy.
We had a huge fist fight.
Yeah, our last
With the
home,
fans?
no, 2 home games ago, the one before the last one, there was like at least 4 or 5 people in fist fight right next to our bench.
Man, I
Over
hear
what?
a big FU, I turn chairs being thrown. This guy's
Yeah. There was just like a little argument and it just got out of control quick.
Dude, I went to get my sister works at JTV and they got one of those cool little boxes up in the front right there. And I went to watch y'all play some team from Fayetteville, I want to say, right?
Marksman, yeah.
Yeah, it was a close game, but it got heated at one point. I guess the ref made some bad call or something. I swear to you, the dude sitting right up there behind me screamed to the ref, "Ref, I'm gonna rape your daughter!" I was like, "Oh my gosh, dude, what just happened, man?"
Some people just have that passion for the game. I guess.
Yeah. I didn't realize that, man. Are y'all from here?
No.
No. I'm from Michigan.
I'm from Jersey.
Jersey. All right. Well, that makes a bit more sense.
We got guys from everywhere from Russia to California.
Y'all have any locals that play?
No, I don't think anybody is even from the state of Tennessee, let alone from Knoxville.
No. I think the closest thing we had was Teaser was from Texas.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Is the
Is
the season still going on, by the way?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We got 4 regular season games left in the playoffs. So
All right.
You save all your notes.
that's just a fact. Like that's how many
Save it
games
for
we have
later.
left. That's just the promotional stuff. Just so.
Thanks, guys. This weekend.
Oh, it's all right.
We're not playing the Smokies. I mean, archery.
sounds like a commercial right there.
I would like to see y'all play the Smokies.
That'd be fun.
In both sports.
Yeah, that would be. That actually would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I feel like we would be better at translating to baseball than they would be at translating to hockey.
Oh yeah, dude, absolutely. Absolutely.
That would be a really cool ticket to sell, though.
Wouldn't it?
Yeah, for both games, and then throw something in there. Oh, that's good.
Remember that movie Idiocracy where they got to that point that said F it and they combined every single sport together? It was like MMA and football.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Play one of each, and then we just play a round of golf to finish it
Yeah.
off.
That's a great book.
Which one is it?
That's
Fascism, Trump one.
Where did you get those again?
I got them outside Trump Tower in New York, man. That's what I was saying. I was like, "Do you
Yeah.
hate Trump too?" And I was like, "Bro, I'm a constitutionalist, man." All right, we'll buy this anyway. $7. I was like, "Okay, $7."
Do you see this one? Whatever, just wash your hands.
That's my favorite one. I don't care what you call yourself.
That's funny.
Dragon, unicorn, just wash your hands. Yeah.
Picture of me.
You rock shades.
8:38 in the morning. Welcome back to Real News, ladies and gentlemen. It's a program where we keep it trill every single day. I can say that, right, Russ?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, good. Yeah, all right.
It doesn't work, but it's okay. You can say it.
We got almost every mic in the house being taken up right now. We are joined by two of the Ice Bears themselves. Let me start here to my left, and then we'll go over. He's wearing the shade in the studio. We do have the studio light on him, though, so it makes sense.
That's what it is.
It makes sense.
Bright in here. It's very bright.
All right, tell me your name. We'll go over from there.
I'm Scott Cuthrell, number 73 in the Ice Bears.
Say that one more time. I don't think the mic was on.
Scott Cuthrell.
All right, and what position you play?
I'm a center for the Ice Bears, number 73.
Nice. And
I'm Doug Rose. I play defense.
For those that don't know, a bunch of asinine questions here, man. I'm going to presume that some people in the audience don't know what hockey even is. What does a center do then?
The
little black thing goes right.
Not like ballerinas. They're tough about it.
These guys have all their teeth out, man.
Yeah, we're one of the lucky ones, actually.
Let's not talk about it, though. I don't want to jinx that at all.
Been here 5 minutes and you bring up the stereotype.
Right. Well, I mean, it is. We got some guys on our team that aren't so lucky with that. But, as far as questions and everything, being here with hockey, you get a lot of weird questions. So they're definitely nothing we haven't heard before.
Nice,
but,
all right.
Being a center, I'm the one that takes the face-offs and pretty much have free range of movement on the ice. So I have a very creative position in terms of flow.
So talk really dumb to us. You
Okay.
said take the face off.
Okay,
right. That's a good point.
So when the guys in the striped uniforms that officiate the game, when those guys are out there and they have the puck in their hand and they drop it and then the play starts, I'm the guy that has to win it back to our team.
See?
Yeah, I suppose that like a midfield position in soccer is sort of free reign.
Yeah, it's kind of like in lacrosse when they're starting low and they have to battle for the ball and take it like that. So I don't know if you're familiar with that in the South more than hockey, but it's just to try to win possession right off the bat.
Right. I mean, like you primarily
like a tip-off in basketball.
Yeah, but center though, is it primarily like a distribution position, passing? Or you're more involved in offense?
Absolutely,
Okay,
a lot of defense, offense, 200-foot game all over the ice.
All right, and tell me if I'm wrong, man. The defense in hockey, you usually consider the bruisers, right? I mean, y'all gotta.
I mean, I'm not.
No.
I'm kind of like a fourth forward when I play, but yeah, we usually D are pretty big guys that like to hit, fight, and keep the puck out of the net. So
all right.
I like to pass the puck and score.
Did you say hip fight or hit fight?
Hit and
fight.
Oh, okay.
Pardon me. It's my accent.
Hip fighting would be weird.
And speaking of that, y'all have a story about hitting and fighting, right?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That happened in
because I asked them,
my
I asked them
goodness.
when they came in, I said, y'all's fans are rabid, and they told this story.
You don't know. You don't know.
There might have been a scrap at the game the other day.
Not with the players, though.
No, I didn't
there was
play
that
the rest
too,
of the game.
actually.
I was so scared after that, actually.
Yeah, so it was the fans, not the players, that got in a fight, right?
Yeah, I just heard a loud cuss word, and then I turned around, and it wasn't in the rink. And
What, he steal his nachos or something?
I guess so, beer, nachos, something like that.
I knew there was something interesting going on because the refs were looking around trying to do something, but it was outside of the rink, so they couldn't do anything.
Security's job.
Yeah, we were just trying to play, and the fans were more paying attention to that than the game at the moment. So it was a really weird energy in the rink for a couple minutes there.
As far as fighting goes in between players on opposite sides, like I played football and I played soccer. Soccer players don't fight. We take dives, all right? But football players, man.
Hair gel when you fall down.
Football players, man, we don't have a tendency to fight because every single play I'm smashing someone in the mouth.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Now, there were certain times where someone did something dirty, a crackback block that wasn't called or something to that extent where, like, I'm going after you and someone's probably going to call a penalty on me. I get that. But in hockey, in football, the point I'm making is it's just pure adrenaline rage because you upset each other. Is there a bigger purpose for it in hockey? Sometimes is it about, like, you got mine, I'm going to get yours or whatever?
Yeah, that's one of the biggest, I think, arguments for fighting in hockey is that it plays a bigger role than just your emotional swings during the game. It actually allows the players to police the game in a certain way. And there, in other sports, like you just said, it's a cheap shot or something like that. And hockey's so dangerous because of the speed and there's blades and sticks and everything like that can really hurt somebody. So it's a way to police the game and allow cheap shots to be taken out in a certain degree.
So that's why the fights are allowed to a certain extent.
Right, exactly.
Or at least ignored until it gets, I guess, to a certain point. Is because of that. It's
100%.
Teaching somebody, hey, you don't do that.
Exactly.
Let me ask you, man, what does it mean by policing the game? Most people would think, like, all right, fine, I watch football, but it's up to the refs or that red flag they throw on the field from time to time to police the game. What does that mean, policing the game? That's why the refs are there, right?
Well, when you have usually there's designated fighters on each team. So like there are guys that are, you don't mess with them. And then when there's guys that are running around maybe taking liberties or cheap shots at more skilled players or just guys playing the game, the fighter will step in and say, hey, you're not doing this. So if that guy wants to fight him, or they'll send their other fighters, and then they'll take care of business.
So it's not just there's a guy that's prone to getting a fight.
Right, I was gonna ask,
almost a designated, known,
like a brawler.
I was gonna say it's like a bigger, older friend that's kind of like takes you out places. Like, hey, I know I'm the one messing up here, but he's the guy you got to answer to.
Yeah,
Is that what's going on here?
I'm like the friend that gets out of control on the ice and has somebody to protect me.
Yeah, exactly. I think about it. We own a bigger dog, German Shepherd, and a little dog, this little terrier. And that terrier thinks she is, the size of like a rhinoceros or something. But the second she realizes the German Shepherd's not behind her anymore, it's gone. I guess it's the same thing.
Right. It's a lot more intimidating if you're about to get punched in the face than just a 2-minute penalty or something.
Yeah.
So fighting is definitely a better way to police the game for everybody out there.
Keep your teeth that way.
Exactly. Yes.
Where are y'all from, by the way?
I'm from Michigan.
Okay.
I'm from New Jersey.
All right. See, we said off air that makes a little bit more sense as to how y'all got involved in hockey.
So how did you end up here?
Yeah.
Can you tell those stories?
How did I?
Well, woke up on a bus one morning.
They told me I was playing hockey. I had no choice.
Yeah. Well, I just finished up college. We both did. I wanted to keep playing after because I'm not ready for a job yet. So
It's a job, though, man. Dave comes in here all the time and says this is not a semi-professional thing. Y'all are professional.
Oh, yeah,
right?
it's
Yeah.
totally professional.
It's very
but I
legitimate,
can't sit
yeah.
at a desk.
No, I hear you. Yeah.
So y'all played in college?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we did that, and then I actually ended up overseas to start. Didn't quite work out there, so I was in touch with Jeff in the summer, and it just happened that I was coming back. He was looking for some guys, so that's how I ended up here.
What about you?
Yeah, I like I said, I just got out of college. I actually went to school out in Boston, and I started off the year somewhere else, played for Tulsa in the ECHL, and then came here right after Halloween and been here pretty much ever since. So, and like you said, it's not like semi-pro here, man. The fans are absolutely crazy, and our place gets packed every single weekend when we play. I've played, everywhere from Canada all the way out to the East Coast and now in the South, and this is definitely the best environment I've ever played in.
That's awesome. I was actually telling these guys a story off air. The last game I went to, something I can't repeat on air by way of FCC regulations or FCC violations. Yeah, they bring refs' family members into it, suffice it to say. So for someone in Tennessee like me who thinks, okay, like I said, man, I was a great football player in high school, did the all-state thing, I was an all-region soccer player. Never in my mind did I have the conception of hockey. No one ever brought that to me. How in the world, for someone that's in the Southeast, coming from some northeastern areas, Michigan, you said New Jersey. I'll start over here. How did you get involved in hockey in the first place? Was it just what kids did?
Yeah, I mean, growing up in Michigan, it's one of the the best things to do there is play hockey, especially because the winter's so long and everything. And my family was really big into it. I grew up a huge Red Wings fan. And I've just stuck with it ever since. And I've used hockey, honestly, as a catalyst in my life to travel and meet new people and do a lot of different things. So I've really learned to love the game in a lot more ways than just in the athletic side of it.
And go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I guess it is our show. Eric on Facebook is asking, which NHL team do y'all root for?
Oh, yeah.
You said Red Wings.
Yep.
Do you have a favorite team?
So I actually live 15 minutes from Philadelphia.
Okay.
So grew up Flyers fans, which is tough because, they're not that great. But
they're pretty good this year.
Yeah, we're diehard Philly fans in South Jersey, so.
Okay, I like the Capitals, and we finally had a good year for the first time.
Did you watch the game last night?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. But not that big of a fan.
Huge fan.
I watch like 10 games a year.
Yeah.
Let me ask y'all, did y'all play any of the sports growing up, or was it primarily?
Oh, absolutely. Okay. I've played every sport that you can think of.
Let me start here, and then I'll go over then if you played other sports too. I hear all the time, and I think to myself, this has to be true, man. As far as the athletic prowess it takes to play hockey compared to other sports, I would venture to say probably the best athletes that are performing at a professional level right now, it's got to be hockey players, right? We were just talking off here, too.
The amount of work they're doing.
It'd be really interesting to see the Ice Bears play the Smokies in baseball, and then see the Smokies play the Ice Bears
and play hockey.
Yeah, right, yeah, exactly.
It's not happening.
But I think the Ice Bears would, perform decently well at baseball, but the Smokies would get trounced on the ice, wouldn't they?
Hockey, you are running suicides all game long on ice with skates on.
It's football meets figure skating meets doing whatever you have to do with a stick and a... Answer the question for me, though.
What was the question?
Yeah, right, yeah. The question was,
Mr. Henry?
They're probably the best athletes are those out on the ice as opposed to any other field, right?
I mean, I'm not going to be biased,
but
I would say...
biased, man.
It's definitely the hardest sport to play. And I give, respect to every other athlete and every other sport because those are also difficult, but... You're combining all those things while you're on skates. And skating to us now is second nature. So when you go, like, say, public skating, you see people that can't really do it. You're like, I can't remember, like, the last time it was hard for me.
What
Exactly. That's a popular one. Yeah.
So can y'all talk about, has there been any major injuries, either from y'all or a different team or in hockey in general, just things that you can think of? Because of that?
Yeah, I mean, just in general, hockey, like I said earlier, is a dangerous sport. So there's a lot of major injuries that happen all the time. That's why we have things like injured reserve and stuff like that. But actually, I think, what was it, my third game here, I got knocked out cold at center ice. Just got blindsided with an elbow, 12 stitches over my eye, concussion, out for, I was actually only out for not very long, which I've healed up pretty well, but that stuff happens all the time in our sport, so.
Was that any kind of penalty? I don't even know what constitutes penalty.
A guy ended up getting suspended for a game, and it was just one of those things. But that's what you turn your head for 1 second in our sport. You're going so fast, and everything happens so fast that it can happen.
When we get back from this break, I'm going to have to get these guys to explain to me what icing is. I feel like it's me trying to explain. It's like me trying to explain.
That is one of the most common questions I get.
Hey, and Roz has a giveaway. What are the tickets, right, Roz?
Yep, 4 tickets to the Ice Bears game, any game, and let them come up with a trivia question while we're on break.
All right. Don't make it too hard. Maybe the question is just, what is icing?
Too hard.
Breaking out the Google.
What is the Knoxville hockey team called?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, your hockey team. 8:49. Hit this first break. Come back. Talk a little bit about the season and what's going forward. Be right back.
What's our team?
No calls.
How are you looking this season, by the way?
We're good, yeah. We're doing pretty well right now.
Fourth?
Yep.
Oh, that's awesome.
And we're coming into playoffs in 2 weeks.
How many teams make playoffs? What is it, 8?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have, we're assuming we're going to have probably Pensacola, so we're going down to Florida.
Yeah. Okay.
Wait, what? That's what we were talking about last night, the way it's going to shake out. Oh. Maybe. I mean, not anything could happen, but.
Who's number 1 right now?
Peoria still? Yeah. It's
So,
weird the way our league is structured, like, a lot of teams don't play everybody all year, and it just.
How many teams are in the league?
10, I think.
Yeah.
I didn't realize before Dave came in here, man. Apparently the Ice Bears are like the Patriots of this league, though, right? They'll just like constantly wipe up.
They've had a lot of success in the past, and our attendance is crazy, and basically, like, from what I've heard, this is my first year, both of us. So, like, from what we've heard around people that have been around the league and stuff, it's one of the best places to play, just outside and inside the ring.
I won't ask you all this off air, man. I'm just always interested in people that are good enough to continually pursue some. I had college scholarship offers, but it was from smaller schools, man. I thought to myself, like, what are y'all's aspirations after the Ice Bears stuff? You want to stick with this for a while? Come on. Or are you thinking about
like after hockey?
No, not even after hockey.
Just
Ice Bears.
Well,
you thinking going something bigger, or
he's gonna play in Germany.
Oh, really?
Going
back to overseas.
Yeah.
Is there an age that typically people peak out at and don't play anymore? Or, I mean, what is the longevity?
It just depends on if you're making a living or not.
Yeah.
And like the league that I'm going.
Or like if an injury happened. Like for me personally, if I get another bad concussion, I'm calling it because I've already had like 2 or 3, and I'm not gonna just continually do that to myself. So, and that's what sucks is that could happen tomorrow. You know?
Yeah.
So there's really no knowing like when you're gonna be done. But at a certain point, like you said, if you're not making a living doing it anymore, then there's no point doing it. So.
Germany, how'd you get the call from Germany? How does that stuff even work out, bro? Like recruiting and all that stuff?
I've met an agent through a buddy of mine who's playing, or he actually just finished up over there because their seasons are short. And he's making 3 times.
Dang, really?
Yeah. So he got me in touch with his agent that lives in the same town. So like they sent me up. I've been talking to this coach since Christmas. They wanted me to go this season. I was like, I can't. Like loyal to one.
Right.
So we just stayed in touch. I talked to him for like 3 hours the other day. He's like, you're gonna be like the number 1 guy coming in. So.
And I suppose, man, like, is it the same, like MLB, for example, okay? There's not another baseball league out there. And if nobody else plays football, okay, but we're trash at soccer. Is the NHL like the world standard for like the
no
best?
No doubt about it. Yeah. It's like, it's basically the NHL, I mean the KHL, and like there's European leagues that are
I was
really
going to say if
good.
there's a Russian equivalent or something, right?
But it's still like you could take the best players in that league, come over here, and they wouldn't be. Well, I mean, they're top Russian players that are the best players in the NHL, but they wouldn't play in the KHL.
Right.
Hey,
3 in the morning. Welcome back to Real News, ladies and gentlemen. We're doing a little bit of a Ice Bears hockey thing. Let me start with our defensive player, then we'll go to center. Introduce yourself to our audience again.
Hi, I'm Doug Rose.
A bit of audible chocolate there. I'm Doug Rose.
I'm Scott Cuthrell.
Hey, how's the season going so far, by the way?
You want me to take that one, Scott?
Yeah, you can go ahead and take that one.
Oh, it's going well. We are in 4th place. We have 2 weeks left before we enter playoffs, so going in on a higher note.
How many games is the season we're looking at?
56.
56. Okay. Yeah. 4th place right now, going into playoffs. 8 teams getting the playoffs, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. All right, so what's the prospects looking like for going all the way doing this thing again?
All right, so what we're looking right now is I think that we're going to win it all.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
I think we're going to do it. I think we have a really good team. Our coach, Jeff Carr, has been doing a really good job piecing the lineup together over the last month or two, just trying to make sure we have all the puzzle pieces to make a run. And the way we're playing lately, I think we're going to do it.
Would it be wise to say anything different? Like, that is the answer you have to give, right?
That's the only answer that I would give.
Yeah.
I mean, like, there's a few teams in the NFL.
Right.
There's a few teams in the NFL that are just like they're consummate choke artists. Like nobody's ever betting on the Cowboys. Come on, bro. Seriously, you know what I mean? It's just not happening.
Will you see Jason Witten's coming back?
Is he?
Yeah, he came back.
Gronk, Gronk retired though. I just want the Patriots to go down, man.
Go Birds.
Go Birds. Anyways, like there might be a few teams in this playoffs where you think like there's not really
right.
But is there one or two teams in particular where you're thinking like, all right, that's the team we need to get over? I don't know whether it's championship or you know.
Well, that's the thing about our team is we've had success against every team in our league this year.
All right.
So there's not one team that we feel like we have a hump that we have to get over or like a mental block against or anything like that. I mean, so we're in a really good position.
So when you beat everybody and you're just the best there has ever been, there's not really a rival or a team to worry about.
Is there, as a defensive player, man, is there one offensive player in the league that you think to yourself like, oh, dude, that's the Lionel Messi of the league, or that's the, I don't know,
just a great player that
just great player, yeah, that you're like,
good.
I'm not looking forward to defending that guy.
Off the top of my head, it's tough to think about, but I mean, with Macon coming up, Danny Caesar played here. He's a quick, very skilled, smaller player, and in practice, like it's always fun to go against him.
Oh yeah,
but
yeah.
Guy made me look stupid once this year in practice. So.
I remember this guy was playing with me. He got a full ride to Notre Dame as a soccer player. He pulled some over me one day, and no joke, I was decleated at a soccer practice. Not even a football practice. Yeah. The move was so good, I literally decleated myself, rolled over backwards because he pulled some move that was so ridiculous.
Was there video?
No, but there should have been. Yeah, there's always
video.
Was
there video around back then?
There was video destroyed after
that. Oh, man. All right, so walk us through the championship. Where's that place? The same place every year? What does it feel like? Have y'all ever hoisted one of those trophies? You said it's your first year playing in the Ice Bears,
yeah,
right?
So this is our first year both with the Ice Bears, so we've never had a chance to actually go through the whole playoff run at this level. But in college and before that, obviously, I've had some success and been able to win a couple championships. So it's always fun, and it's always something that everybody gets excited for this time of year. So.
On the Ice Bears, do y'all have like a senior player that everyone looks up to, someone that's been there the longest, or someone like that? Who's the team leader there?
I would say Spencer Metcalf's the guy.
Yeah.
He's a bit older than.
I reckon
he's a guy that just came back this season, right?
Yeah. And he's an older guy, but the guys love him. He gets the guys fired up for games.
A bit like me. Yeah. Most people love me.
I can see that. I want to call you Spencer.
I appreciate one guy in the studio. Hey, by the way, we only got about 2 minutes left. Off the top of y'all's head, something kind of easy. Who knows? Maybe not kind of easy. What would you think would be a good trivia question for the tickets?
Okay, here's an easy one that if you know anything about our team, you should know. What is the name of our mascot?
Oh, all right.
That's a good one.
That is a good one, man.
It's going to be like, what is the guy that wears stripes? What is his position?
I'll give you a hint.
That's unanimous across sports, I feel like.
His name is not Icy the Ice Bear.
No, it's
right?
not.
All right, yeah.
It's not Mr. Henry nor Nick Crawford. Those were taken.
That'd be the worst name for a mascot ever, Mr. Henry.
Well, yours might be.
He comes in wearing a full three-piece suit and spectacles and just reprimands you for
my name. 5.
All right, so here's the trivia question. Crown Plaza call number 865-888-TALK, 865-888-8255. Call in and tell us the name of the Ice Bears mascot. Does it have anything to do with the bear?
That's classified.
Oh, nice. All right.
Wow.
It's a diplomat in the making right there.
So 865-888-TALK, 865-888-8255. Win 4 for free Ice Bears.
Go to any game you want to as well.
Any game.
How many games are left home games?
4.
All right. So any one of these 4
but only
home
2
games.
of them, I believe, or 3 of them are at home, actually. So.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, yeah, those games left then.
Well, that's fine. You'll bring friends.
Come support these guys.
You don't want to go by yourself.
Yeah.
8:58.
Said it's good for playoffs too.
Exactly.
Is it really?
For playoffs too.
No, I get out. That's cool.
All you have to do is know the name of the mascot for the Ice Bears. 865-888-TALK.
Ross, we can win this too, right?
Don't say
We're
anything,
eligible,
Brandon.
right?
And I believe you guys mentioned earlier that you guys are partners with the Smokies, right?
Right,
So
yeah.
actually, our next home game is Smokies night. So we're going to have them and the first 200 fans in that wear Ice Bear gear, Smoky gear rather, get tickets to their home opener this season.
If you wear Smokies gear to the next Ice Bear game, you can go to the first Smokies game for free.
Exactly.
Wow, and you can hear.
You have to be one of the first 200 though.
Oh, well, the first 200
in
the
Smokies
door.
gear. Yep.
Okay.
I want some of these playoff tickets, man. This is
Well,
nonsense.
you can hear the game here anyway on Talk Radio 92.3.
The Smokies
all
game,
the
that
Smokies
is, yeah,
official
yeah.
partner of the Tennessee Smokies, and having the Ice Bears in today as well.
Yeah. Hey, stick around for news, traffic, weather, all that. Thanks so much for coming by, fellas.
Yeah, thank you very much, guys.
Hit this hard break and come back with Ray talking Jussie Smollett. Jussie Smollett! Sounds like you're cussing in Italian.
Italian.
Yeah. All right, be right back.
Doesn't that sound like you're cussing in Italian?
No,
If you say his name?
it doesn't.
Jussie Smollett.
When you say it like that,
It's Jussie Smollett.
Yeah. When you say that in that accent.
Jussie Smollett. Jussie Smollett.
The doofus. Guys, thank you very much for having us on, man. It was fun.
Appreciate y'all coming
You guys
in.
have a fun show, man.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, appreciate you coming in.
Absolutely. Good luck in Germany, man. One of our buddies in Facebook, by the way, said he lived in Germany for a couple of years.
He loved it.
Says he loves living in Germany. So
Yeah.
should be good.
Yeah. Yeah. Our beer's pretty good.
Yeah, right.
Thank you very much. All right, when we get back on air, I got to talk about something, okay?
All right.
Remember that.
I got no problem with you talking about things.
Well, good, 'cause that's kind of what we do around
That's
here.
what we do, yeah. Jussie Smollett.
Jussie Smollett. Now, I'm never going to be able to hear or say that in
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
You see about the...
Oh my gosh.
Caught on Facebook. Let's watch it. Let's watch it.
Here it comes.
That's right, Norm. That's right. You should say your face, though.
Facebook, I'm gonna leave y'all with some news. I'll be back in a second.
2 deadly crashes overseas.
Congress is going to investigate if their own passage of a law contributed to the problem. In 2012, they expanded the FAA's aircraft certification process, allowing the FAA to basically use more people from companies like Boeing to certify that their own planes and parts are safe.
That's Fox's Jessica Rosenthal. Now, yesterday, Southwest Airlines Boeing 737 MAX plane with no passengers on board had to make an emergency landing in Orlando because of engine trouble. Still a lot of questions in Chicago.
Do I think justice was served? No.
Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson, after the charges were dropped against Jussie Smollett, who insists he did not stage the hate crime attack he claims he was the victim of.
I would not be my mother's son if I was capable of one drop of what I've been accused of.
Sources tell Fox 32 that the case and the evidence against Smollett was just simply unraveling. Smollett forfeited $10,000 in bond money while serving 16 hours of community service.
That's Tia Ewing. This is Fox News.
Are you drowning in IRS tax debt?
I owe the IRS $37,000.
Get ready for a toll-free hotline. Take advantage of new IRS tax forgiveness programs that may protect you from IRS collection agencies. They have the power to garnish your wages, put liens on your property, and levy your bank account. Civic Tax Relief can help protect you from the IRS.
Civic Tax Relief basically represented me against the IRS, and by the time everything was completed, I didn't owe the IRS anything.
Find out about the Fresh Start program that is now available through Civic Tax Relief. Civic Tax Relief's special tax hotline can help you discover all the relief programs available for free.
I would recommend anyone who has a tax problem to contact Civic Tax Relief.
Just call 800-955-8408. 800-955-8408. Don't wait. Call now. 800-955-8408. 800-955-8408.
Months after the massacre at a synagogue in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the city council plans to vote this morning on gun control legislation that would put restrictions on the type of firearms used in the shootings that left 11 people dead. Gun rights groups, though, they have vowed legal action if passed. There's a big court date today for the man accused of kidnapping a Wisconsin teenager after killing her parents last October, leading to a month-long search that ended with Jamie Kloss turning up alive.
Jake Patterson held Jamie Kloss against her will for nearly 3 months before she escaped. Today, he makes his third appearance in a Wisconsin courtroom, this time for his arraignment. Patterson has previously said in a letter he sent from jail to a Minnesota TV station that he plans to plead guilty to murder, kidnapping, and armed robbery. If he follows through, that would eliminate the need for a trial and prompt the judge to set a date for sentencing. The murder charges carry a mandatory life sentence. He could get up to 40 years for kidnapping and as many as 15 years for robbery. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
The March Madness resumes tomorrow with 4 more games, and by this weekend, the NCAA college basketball tournament will be down to the Final Four. And so far, one of the millions of people who've entered contests online is in first place.
He says he researched his college basketball picks, and it would be hard to find anyone to argue with him. The NCAA says Greg Nigel of Columbus, Ohio, has a perfect college basketball tournament bracket through the first 48 games. Nigel says he was homesick and almost didn't fill out his bracket on NCAA.com, but has correctly predicted every winner through the tournament's first 2 rounds. He says he isn't counting on his bracket remaining perfect. Nigel has Gonzaga beating Kentucky for the national title, with Duke and Virginia rounding out the Final Four. Rich Dennison, Fox News.
On Wall Street, stock futures are moving a little higher ahead of the opening bell this hour. The day after the Dow went up 140 points and the Nasdaq gained 54. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
Has anybody told you about Coast to Coast AM tonight?
The world is hungry for more and more power. Join us on our next Coast to Coast program, and we'll talk about how we're going to deal with that. Followed, of course, by astronomer Bob Berman. We'll be talking about fragile life on Earth right here on Coast to Coast AM.
It's the best in overnight talk radio. Coast to Coast AM.
Beginning at 1 a.m. on Talk Radio 92.3 and AM 760.
I'm Ginny Cosola with your Fox Business Network tax tip. No more exemptions for kids after this.
There's a reason why more Americans start their day with Fox and Friends. All the headlines you need right when you wake up. Weekdays starting at 6 a.m. Don't miss Fox and Friends with Steve, Brian, and Ainsley. Your mornings are better with friends. Only on the Fox News Channel.
The new tax law doubles the standard deduction, but eliminates the exemption for you and your kids. It's a break for some parents.
One kid, no kids, they'll be better.
CPA Fred Slater of MS 1040 says it is a big change.
It was over $3,000 a year that you got for each exemption, so a family of 4 was getting basically over $12,000.
Slater says if you have a bunch of kids, that exemption is gone.
You have a large enough family, your taxes are actually probably going to go up.
You also lose the exemption for taking care of an elderly parent. Ginny Cosola, Fox News.
Here's a news flash from Dayton Hilton of Dayton's Pest Control.
Bedbugs have moved into this area.
Dean, with the trivia answer. I'll go straight to Dean then for the trivia, and then
I bet it's Dean Palumbi.
Dean Palumbi?
Yeah, I bet that's who it is.
Who's Dean Palumbi?
Real estate guy.
Oh, right, yeah.
Brings with us, drives the stuff.
Yeah, here we go. No, not K. Not KU.
I think technically it's a KO.
Dart. The dirt. Death. Saw.
Bum, 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 bum. Yes. Bring it on. Bring it on.
I'll pot it down like this. And then when you get big into it, I'll.
Dun, 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 dun.
This is not what I need.
You want the legit one.
That's two. 10 hours of the Imperial March? That's going to get copyrighted hit immediately.
You saw the answer?
Oh, you know it. 9:08 in the morning. Welcome back to Real News, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mr. Henry. Don't forget about the AM 760. We've got a cool app as well. Nick's sitting beside me here. Cool app. Just type in Talk Radio 92.3 Knoxville. First thing that comes up in your app search bar. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, all that stuff. It's all out there now. Even the Patreon. Whatever you do, just type in Real News Radio to those search bars. You'll find us going on there. With that being said, let's go to, before I get to Dean, because this is somewhat apropos to what Dean's talking about. He's got the trivia answer. Dave Feather said, too, one thing I want to touch on, the playoff system, I'm going to speak way outside my level of expertise here, but the playoff system in the Ice Bears League works differently than it does in others. Apparently, the top team gets to choose from part of the bottom four teams as to who they want to play. So it's still a little bit up in there. That's why when our guest here played center for the Ice Bears, when he was saying it looks like it's going to play out this way as to who they're going to play.
They just really don't know.
They don't know yet. Yeah, I suppose because the top team hasn't chosen yet. But we'll get more updates on that. With that being said, let's go to Dean on the Crown Plaza call number. Then we'll get to Ray talking about the Jussie Smollett. Dean knows the answer to the trivia question. That trivia question was, what is the name of the Ice Bears mascot for 4 tickets to the Ice Bears? Dean, what do you think that answer is?
I don't think I know.
Nice.
The answer is Chili Bear.
Hey! That's what I'm talking about, Dean. Where's the? I don't know where.
There's the bell. There's the bell.
You want to hit it once too?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I want to hit it.
All right, Nick's going to hit. Nice, Dean. That's what I'm talking about.
Can you get that crown again, please?
Awesome, Dean. Hey, Dean, are you an Ice Bears fan, I suppose?
Oh, absolutely.
Awesome. That's what I'm talking about. How long have you been
Yeah, I have to give props to my counterpart. He's the one who actually encouraged me to throw it out there. So
nice.
Sergeant Wilson.
All right.
Yeah.
There you go, Dean. Man, we appreciate it. Have you called him before?
No, I have not called him before.
How long you been listening to Real News for?
You don't want to know.
5 minutes ago, what his friend said, hey, you can win Ice Bears tickets.
Yeah, you can win Ice Bears tickets. Just pick up the phone. That's
you give me benefit of the doubt. 5 minutes is a long time.
Dean, you're one of my favorite callers so far, buddy. I hope you keep listening. Dean, we'll put you back on hold so Roz can get your information, man. All right?
Too easy, brother. Y'all keep doing it.
Thank you, Dean.
Appreciate it.
Hey, Roz, before you talk to him, can I get this computer going? Or do you want to hold off so Roz can get a full dose of what's about to happen?
Let Roz do her job for a second.
Yeah, we'll let Roz do the job.
And then we'll go into what we need to discuss some issues.
Let me set up this Jussie Smollett story then, because when I say Jussie Smollett, Jussie Smollett, if you say his name with an Italian accent, doesn't it sound like you're cursing someone in Italian? Hey, Jussie Smollett! Like someone cut you off in traffic, you know what I mean?
Maybe like if you had the right hand motion.
Yeah.
And you're like, hey, you! Yeah, you! Jussie Smollett!
Yeah, Jussie Smollett!
And your family, too!
Jussie Smollett and your family, too. Yeah, that's right. Facebook can see me, by the way. Love interacting in the comments.
The little wooden hand thing you got over here.
Should I do the
Is that
Jussie Smollett? Yeah, that's the one I should do. We have a little fake mannequin hand. We have all kind of props in the studio. All right, so this is what's going on.
The real things we talk about on this show.
The real things. Nick has a little rant he wants to get to here in just a second. Before we do, though, I'm going to get to...
it's on a real issue topic.
It is a very real issue topic. I'm going to get to Ray's call here in just a second. Some breaking, developing news as well that Fox is just coming out with. Here's a headline from a CBS Chicago local affiliate. Jussie Smollett, charges dropped. Quote, his record has been wiped clean. Less than 2 weeks after Empire actor Jussie Smollett pleaded not guilty to 16 counts of disorderly conduct for allegedly lying to police about a hate crime, prosecutors have dropped charges in the case. Quote, this quote is coming from Smollett. This is Smollett himself saying, I would not be my mother's son if I was capable of doing what I was accused of. It's an interesting way to phrase that.
I would not be
my mother's son
if I was capable Okay, got it.
Well, you still would be your mother's son, but
technically that's correct, unless you identify elsewise.
Unless you identify somebody else's son, I guess that's right.
I mean, technically, you're your mama's son.
He goes on to say, I'd like nothing more than to just get back to work and move on with my life, but make no mistakes, I will always continue to fight for the justice, equality, and betterment of marginalized people everywhere. With that being said...
And just as a quick update on this, too, the prosecutor, Fox, I can't remember her, Kim, I think, Kim Fox.
Right.
She is a protege of Kamala Harris. Looks up entirely to Kamala Harris, worked with Kamala Harris, says Kamala Harris got her that job, was working with Michelle Obama. Michelle Obama was behind a lot of this and took over $100,000 in George Soros money. Where's the conspiracy, Russian collusion look into this?
And this is my whole thing, too. This goes back to the first question of the day was dealing with the Russia collusion conspiracy, was dealing with the Mueller report. That whole thing was we can go two different routes I want the Real News opinion on, and Facebook's giving me a little bit of this of, do we now go the route of vindication? Do we now go the route of some sense of retaliation, even if you want to call that, and bring down the Clintons, bring down the Christopher Steeles, bring down the Fusion GPS, bring down arguably some of the Podestas as well, people that, good Lord, let's even say some of the McCains. I know that sounds bad, but let's call it for what it is. Even some of the McCains, man. Do we bring down some of those neocons as well that propagated and set up this story, or do we maintain the moral high ground and just try and repitch new legislation to get some stuff done? Second question of the day, dealing with the Jussie Smollett. Due to what Nick just laid out and what we're about to reveal that Fox News revealed late last night in the Laura Ingraham show, do you want to see Jussie Smollett pay for this? Or is it something that you're willing to just kind of like let bygones be bygones?
And I would like to see him pay for this. I just don't think that should be our priority right now.
I understand.
The same thing with the Mueller report. I would like for Hillary to go to jail, and I would like for there to be some backlash and an actual report to come out. But I don't think that's the priority right now. You're trying to think about this rationally in an adult mindset of what's our priorities, and it shouldn't be trying to get back at people right now. It should be getting good things done.
And keep in mind, too, we have a local update story on Evelyn Gill coming on here. Let's see. What is this? Yeah, probably about the 9:30 hour. Let me continue some of this Jussie Smollett story. Nick has a rant that involves Miss Roz. I want her to get a portion of this. I'll continue with some of the Smollett story. It goes on to say, I want you to know that not for a moment was it in vain. I've been truthful and consistent on every single level since day one. I would not be my mother's son if I was capable of one drop of what I've been accused of. This has been an incredibly difficult time. Honestly, one of the worst in my entire life. And Roz, by the way, we got a call on line 3 there. Yeah, she's calling line 3. Yeah. And it's calls all over the place. This has been an incredibly difficult time, honestly, one of the worst in my entire life, but I am a man of faith, and I am a man that has knowledge of my history, and I would not bring my family, our lives, or the movement through a fire like this. I just wouldn't, he goes on to say. Let me play this real quick, too, being that we're into the Jussie Smollett stuff story here. As I get to Ray's call, okay, fine. So everyone knew exactly what happened with Jussie Smollett. Give me 20 seconds to recap what's going on here. He said he was attacked by two individuals late one night as he was on his way to Subway to get a tuna sandwich. It was around 1 or 2 a.m., something to that extent. Two people in red MAGA hats came up to him with ski masks, put a rope around his neck that was tied as a noose, threw bleach on him, punched him a couple times. Fight off, finned off, went back to his home, Jussie Smollett did. After a couple hours, I suppose he went to the hospital first or called the police first or something.
This reminds me of Kennedy.
Kennedy?
With Chappaquiddick.
Oh, wow. Right.
So kill a girl in the car, and then you have enough time to go back to the hotel, to eat lunch with people, to hang out a little while. Jussie Smollett. He thought he would get away with this.
Apparently he is, though. Apparently he is, right? I mean,
but I'm saying from the beginning, he thought he would and thought it'd all be fine. Did you see his press conference about this?
Yeah.
Nowhere did he say, I'm sorry. Nowhere. He did say, I'm a man of faith and something else. And it's just really your man of faith, and you just tried to pull this one. That's why it doesn't sit well with me. Just the way he can go on with his smug face and be happy about this, ruin two guys' lives. I hope he never gets an acting job again. Maybe that would be the justice. Maybe nobody will hire him.
It's interesting, too, and to finish out the story of what actually happened. So he called the police, apparently kept the noose around his neck for some odd reason. Now what we end up finding out on the back end is that two people that allegedly attacked him, or so police said at the time, it was two Somali immigrants. Now, was it Somali immigrants or not Somali immigrants? Mm-hmm. Is that where they were from?
Yeah, I believe so.
All right, so yeah, I think 2 small
Taking
immigrants
advantage of immigrants.
that apparently knew him. One of them was his
They
personal
both did, I
trainer.
thought.
Well, one of them knew him personally as his personal trainer. The other guy was just that guy's older brother, which I
okay.
also knew.
But sort of knew him, yeah.
And his personal trainer was also a stand-in on the Empire television show. So there's all this circulating evidence, and the two brothers showed through. They had a personal check from Jussie Smollett's personal bank account giving
How
them
dumb can you be?
$4,000 for this alleged payoff.
You at least don't go like to a Western Union and put down cash and give them that or something.
Exactly, right? And they had receipts of the ski mask they purchased. They had receipts of the
I bet
hats
they paid
purchased.
for it with credit card as well.
It probably did. I mean, they had
On
video
camera.
evidence of them paying for that as well,
I mean,
man.
Can you go to like a good yard sale and get a ski mask for cash anymore?
They had text message exchange. They had metadata of phone calls. They had all this stuff. Regardless, though, the Cook County prosecutors, again, come from a CBS local affiliate, Cook County prosecutors agreed to drop the charges against Smollett at an unscheduled hearing in the case Tuesday morning. Smollett will also forfeit his $10,000 bail he posted after his arrest.
And again, I wonder why. I'll tell you why. Because Michelle Obama, Barack Obama, George Soros, and Kamala Harris were all involved in this. This is a Democrat ploy. It's just, if you're one of them, you're in the club. You're part of the mafia. So it's fine. And you'll never be touched.
And Roz, give me about a minute and 22 seconds here just to prove what Nick is saying here. Listen to this.
Did Michelle Obama's office have a role in shutting the Jussie Smollett case down? Now follow me here. Just days after Smollett reported his alleged hate crime to police, and the Cook County State's Attorney Kim Foxx tried to persuade Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson to turn the investigation over to the FBI. Now, the request came after Foxx received this text, according to the Chicago Sun-Times, from Tina Chen, a Chicago attorney and former chief of staff for former First Lady Michelle Obama. Quote, I wanted to give you a call on behalf of Jussie Smollett and family, who I know. They have concerns about the investigation. Shortly after that, a Smollett family member reached out to Foxx, having been given her number by Obama's former assistant. Well, Foxx then replied in a text message that she, quote, spoke to the superintendent and that she was, quote, trying to figure out logistics. The relative then replied, OMG, this would be a huge victory, referring to the FBI taking over the case. Foxx then texted, I make no guarantees, but I'm trying. This is so great. So let me get this straight. The top prosecutor at the office that ultimately decided not to prosecute Smollett was actively seeking to help the defendant.
All right, and that's, I mean, come on, y'all. Come on. So no more than 48 hours after that text exchange goes down, now all of a sudden we have that exact same attorney coming out from the Cook County State Attorney's Office, stated in an email, after reviewing all the facts and circumstances of this case, including Mr. Smollett's volunteer service in the community and agreement to forfeit his bond to the city of Chicago, we believe this outcome is a just disposition and appropriate resolution of this case. So basically what the attorney is saying is he's already served his community service time. He's paid $10,000 in fines. Oh, and by the way, Michelle Obama just texted me and said that she's going to help me out on the up and up type thing. What is going on here, man? I know we got to hit this break right now. Raj, you get on that break? No, yeah. I know we got to hit this break. Ray's going to want to come back and talk about this one more time for the Real News audience, at least for the next segment or two, and then I'm going to get into to this local story here with the headline being County settles lawsuit against alleging abuse of special needs student by Knox Commissioner. This is Evelyn Gill. One more time I want to post for the Real News audience. Look, do you want to see some other further version of justice than this? Because these these hoax hate crimes have been going on for quite some time. What makes this one even more problematic than the other ones, though, this guy is a Hollywood, not A-lister, but he's a Hollywood elite. Mm-hmm. You have to be Hollywood elite to make it on a Fox News, not on Fox News, but on a Fox primetime show like Empire. Yeah. For every Jussie Smollett, there are 20,000 actors you never heard of in Hollywood right now. So this guy is on the elite level of actually being known. So when a guy like that does it and is able to get away with it, it sets a dangerous precedent for other people in the public, worthy of public notoriety, that could potentially do the same. We'll see what Ray feels about this when he gets back. 9:22. Be right back.
We're always slipping and slipping on the wrong team. A loaded gun combi, I getting really good. See what F book's saying.
I feel like we have a very similar energy that their show does.
Mm-hmm. They're not as lively, I don't think. I don't think they like to have as much. It's not fun with it, but they take it a little bit more seriously. I can't take this stuff too seriously anymore, man. It's just, I feel like I'm living in a freaking Hollywood movie. Eric, that's a great point, buddy. Eric just brought up, like, all right, fine, so you're not charging Jussie Smollett with a crime, which reasonably leads one to conclude a crime still happened, or so says Jussie Smollett. So if he wants to pursue charges, who are you going to charge? Those random Somali immigrants? And it was Somali immigrants, right? Facebook, am I wrong there? Hey man, dude, JC, I hear you, bro. Honestly, I'm leaning that way with the Russian collusion stuff. I'll be honest with y'all. Grant's actual opinion is I don't know if this is the most prudent time to start pushing back. I know y'all probably hate to hear me say that. I'm looking 15, 20 years into the future, and I'm thinking for these 2 years, if we can change the generation of political thinking for these 2 years and the next 4 years, we don't have to worry about the potential backlash on the president. Just freaking go to the walls with it, man. I'm talking hit down, take down everyone. I'm just saying right now. However, with this Jussie Smollett stuff, JC, I think you're right, man. I agree we need to prosecute all who are guilty, and the left is not getting back at anybody. It's called justice. Yeah, man.
And I agree with that.
It's been 2 years falsely accusing the president. It's time to bring actual criminals to justice. No mercy. Ray's been hanging on for literally an hour and a half.
Well, sometimes he just sits there and listens.
Yeah, he does. He was at that pancake breakfast. He was standing right in front of the remote table with Bluetooth headphones on, listening to the show. It was so funny. It's like real news everywhere, man. Hey, Jussie Smollett, somebody has to know about
That's your dirty little secret, man. JC makes a great point in Facebook. Actually, Eric makes a great point, and JC makes a great point. Eric brings up, all right, fine. So Jussie Smollett's not being charged with something. That still means, let's put it in the negative, that does not mean that a crime did not take place. Which is to say that if Jussie Smollett, if we take him at his word, then that also means that a crime did take place. So Eric's point is, fine, if you're not charging Jussie Smollett with a fake crime, you have to charge someone with an actual crime. So what are you going to do? Go back to the two kids that originally gave their point of, no, we were paid to do this? And JC makes another good point here, too. I suppose you could make this applicable to either the Russia story or the Smollett thing, saying, I agree, we need to, this is coming from JC again, I agree, we need to prosecute all who are guilty on the left. It's not about getting back at anyone, it's called justice. They just spent 2 years falsely accusing the president. It's time to bring the actual criminals to justice. No mercy for them. Man, dude, I'm feeling that. I am. And especially if you hear what Laura Ingraham is saying is the person that was in charge of prosecuting this crime against Jussie Smollett was actually actively involved with Michelle Obama of protecting the defendant that she was in charge of prosecuting, which is just, I don't know, man. We're living in a Hollywood movie script right now. With that being said, Ray's been hanging on for a hot minute there. Ray, buddy, thanks for hanging on for us so long. Obviously, you want to talk about the Smollett thing. What's on your mind, buddy?
Good morning, Mr. Henry, Mr. Crawford. Yes, what that young man did is atrocious. He's a racist, and he keeps playing out this racist role, which will eventually backfire him in Hollywood. But when I woke up this morning and saw the First Lady involved with this is unprecedented.
I know.
I haven't seen anything like this before, not to mention, Mr. Henry, a married woman going to a black gay man to help him out is very suspicious. It's not, you're inviting the lion into your den. Barack Obama would have been a straight target. So this relationship to me is very, very suspicious. For her to use her power like that to distract from the news, which is what we come here for.
Yeah,
and to have all this.
Ray, I can't understand the motivation behind, okay, fine, it wasn't Michelle Obama directly, but it was certainly her people that were tagging this up. I still can't quite understand the motivation behind that. What is she getting out of this? Do you know what I'm saying? She's not running for office. Her husband's not running for office. They don't really need any more political capital with the LGBT community. By the way, Jussie Smollett is a African-American homosexual male. They don't need any more capital with that community. I don't get what, there's so much to risk here.
I think what Ray is alluding to there is, at least my interpretation of it, and I kind of agree with it. I don't see any clear motivation here. So to me, there must have been a debt owed and a debt paid here.
Wow.
There's something else going on.
Wow.
Yes. Not to mention, Roz is 100% correct when she stated a week ago, Thursday, that Michelle Obama is a man. This LGBT protection is only seen within that group. We don't see this out in the heterosexual society. We don't see women of a household who have a man to protect inviting gay men into their house.
Well, look, Matt has another take on it in Facebook here, saying Jussie Smollett was caught trying to start a race war. I'll back that up. Jussie Smollett was caught trying to start a race war, and he gets a pass. A communist connected to the tippy top, and he walks. So Jussie Smollett is free to run more ops. Now Matt takes about a 30,000 view and tries to always be somewhat cynical in his approach. And you know, there's a healthy dose of in everyone's cynicism here of understanding. Look, man. It kind of started to be this thing of Jussie Smollett could have chosen any other version of a person to attack him. But initially, what did you think? Two people wearing red MAGA hats in Chicago and ski masks attacking an African-American homosexual mayor? You clearly think Trump supporters that are white. You don't think Somali immigrants.
Yeah, because they don't report that. The headline would say 2 Trump supporters attack, black actor or something like that. They don't look into the fact that, they were paid, and they were also black, and they weren't actually Trump supporters. And the truth was never told on this. But you see, as Rush Limbaugh always calls them, the drive-bys, which I think is just the best way for it, so that's how I'm going to put it, is the drive-bys. They saw the headline, they were driving by it, and that's all they saw, and they moved on. And so that's what people remember.
And Richard's saying some sources have said that the DNC was actually running this attack, and the Obamas were involved, possibly to begin with. And Ray, I want to hit you with this follow-up question.
Obama met with freshman congressmen this week.
Oh, really?
Freshman Democrats, they were caught boarding a bus to go meet with Obama, him trying to rein in some of the Ocasio-Cortezes and things like that. So the Obamas are very much still involved in politics.
Bob's saying on Facebook, I heard that Fox welcomed him back with open arms. This dude should never get another acting job again. The goofy world. Ray, that's what I want to follow up with, too. Part of me wants to say, buddy, okay, look, I want to see him have some type of legal
Why
culpability.
should he not get an acting job, though?
Well, but see, this is what I'm saying.
How does that affect his acting job?
But I said this to Nick off air, man. The real sense of being held culpable for Hollywood is never to have a job again. It's not being held legally culpable.
I mean, I think if somebody wants to hire him, fine, hire him. But then their show should tank
you're
because
going to have to deal with it.
Watch it. But I don't think this means he shouldn't get a job. I just hope he doesn't. You see what I'm saying? I don't think it should be illegal for him to work somewhere.
If they want to cast him as a person who fakes a hate crime in his show, he's got that written for him. But Ray,
put it on his resume.
I'll give you the last 30 seconds
That's a good spin. He was just acting the whole time.
Put it on his resume. I'll give you the last 30 seconds here. And if you can, in some of those 30 seconds, respond to what do you think of Fox's possibility of actually giving him another job again?
Well, the Fox possibility is up to Fox. And like I said, with Smollett being a racist now and holding that stance is going to be detrimental to his own acting skills. But what scares me the most, Mr. Henry, is the precedent set here. That if we could buy out of our crimes on society, there used to be a day where you had a boss hog sitting behind the bush, and every time the musician came by speeding, he got a ticket, and he had to play a concert for free for the whole town of Hazard.
I mean, that's a good point, right? Because Trump couldn't buy out of his. Right. No, granted, he's a president, but I hear what you're saying. Republicans can't buy out of theirs anymore. It seems like Democrats have a carte blanche ability to be able to do so.
Yes, this precedent is very scary because it's just as perverted. And it's like Lennis exactly said, when we're dealing with these Democrats, the conclusion we think is going to happen is not what we get. This is scary.
We got to hit this break, Ray. Appreciate you calling, man.
You're welcome. Welcome back.
Thank you, buddy. Yeah, there goes Ray, 932. Speaking of Ray quoting Lennis, Lennis is up next. Then we get to Stimpy. Be right back.
Roz loves the
Yeah,
the
she
Michelle
does.
Obama
She loves that
transcript so
conspiracy
much.
theory. That's one of her favorites for sure.
Michelle Obama's former.
What?
We've moved on from that. What? I didn't send you that. That was not from me. What is it?
Ken Starr lying about it?
Maybe I sent you the wrong one. Maybe I sent you the wrong link.
Tell Ken Starr to shut his dirty mouth.
Okay.
Tell him.
I
Yeah.
will.
Tell him all he'll ever be remembered for is old
You
Monica.
can tell Ken Starr, Jussie Smollett.
Yeah. That's right. Jussie Smollett,
You
tell
guys are too
yourself, Ken
much.
Star.
I'm playing Natalie music. You guys got me in the mood.
You should. Hey, play,
What are you playing?
play the Lady in the Tramp song.
Italian.
This is the night.
I was gonna do the Amore.
You still do it and do it now. That's what I have to say about that.
Legit. That's what you sent me.
Do you think that Nick is too legit though? I wonder that sometimes. I was actually thinking about that last week. I was like, is this guy?
I don't think he's too legit to quit though.
Well, but I thought about like, what if he does quit one day? Does that make him no longer legit? You know what I mean?
Are you talking about me?
Yeah.
You make a good point.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because I know I'm too legit. Well, to quit. I mean, I might voluntarily resign.
Right.
But I'm never just gonna straight quit.
Right.
But
Right.
you know, too legit.
Too
legit to quit.
Hi. Oh my God, he's so young, bro. I can't with this guy. He's way too young. He didn't even know Rocky. Like, that's the easiest one.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm really liking this freaking kid right here on this American Idol. Listen to this dude.
No.
He's baller, man. I swear to you. Listen to this guy.
Burned him more pricks.
Shut up.
Never.
I thought. I've been by your side for 10 years and counting, dealing with your loss inside. I am dying.
Okay, Nick, you
It's like
sent
a weird
the liberal
virtuoso.
media's
Oh gosh.
You sent the liberals media's most embarrassing Mueller failures?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I have.
Uh-huh.
Do you still want to do that or no?
Star stuff.
I don't know.
Why are you on Ken Starr, bro?
It says it right here on the
No,
video.
no, bro.
That's not what I sent you.
That's not what we sent you, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Swear to God, go to the page and you'll see Trump's face right there.
Bro.
Say the same
Bro,
thing.
that's not what I sent.
Bro.
I copy and pasted that link and I sent it to you. That wasn't it.
Easy.
Bro, don't mess with me.
This is the
Yeah,
link
don't
that
question.
it's taking me to.
I think that was an assault on your intelligence is what that was.
Yeah. Listen how crazy this gets.
Is this what you did here today?
This guy said his two influences are Trent Reznor and Chopin. Who has those two influences? That's crazy.
I don't even know what that is.
Q-tip is definitely.
Trent Reznor's the guy that leads Nine Inch Nails, and Chopin's just a one of the best composers of all time.
I don't know.
It's crazy, isn't it?
I
Q-tip. Do you know who Q-tip is, right?
Yeah. For sure.
Jussie Smollett.
Jussie Smollett.
See, it works in context. Good.
2.3 and AM 760.
Swing fly ball in the air to deep left.
Every at bat, every inning, every game.
Hits at the wall. Saw!
Hear all the play-by-play with Mick Gillespie.
That's a two-run shot into the double deck.
The season begins on April 4th.
The new home of the Tennessee Smokies. Talk Radio.
If you want to, before we get the Linus's call, sure.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. I might not even say anything. I may just
Start
play
playing
this.
it, yeah.
And just let you go into it.
Yeah. And then Rob's like, what?
Hey, can I get this computer going like as soon as we come back on? I'm not gonna come back in with the nature. I'm just gonna.
I said no.
She had notes about her.
She said 9.
I'm not going to take any credit for this, though, because I have no idea what's about to come. Facebook, what is a Sith Lord? Is that the same thing as Darth Vader?
What?
I was asking Facebook what a Sith Lord is.
The Sith Lord?
Was Darth Vader a Sith Lord?
Yes.
He was?
He is the Sith Lord.
Oh, he's the Sith Lord? I thought that was that electric guy. No.
That's the Emperor.
Oh. All right.
Jussie Smollett. Welcome back to Real News. We have a real issue here to talk about right now of mass defeat and treachery going on in the Real News studio. Mr. Henry, are you enjoying your decaf coffee?
I am, yes.
Your small decaf coffee?
Yes.
I'm enjoying my small regular coffee. No cream, no sugar.
What happened?
Well, you see, I ordered a sausage McMuffin from McDonald's.
Okay.
Yes, I did. Gave Roz a very specific order.
Mm-hmm.
Large coffee, sausage McMuffin, mustard.
Very simple. Okay.
Very simple, right?
Yeah.
Pretty easy to understand. Well, after you got your small decaf, guess what was not in the bag?
Oh, no.
The mustard.
Oh!
Cut the mustard right in half. No mustard. So what does Roz say? Oh, we've got some in the fridge. Go to the fridge. So what am I holding here in my hand? The mustard from the fridge.
Oh.
Yes.
Is it tainted?
From very nice Kroger yellow mustard.
Has it been tainted?
About 45 servings per container.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
No, pretty good, right? Good
Yeah.
size bottle. Well, I go to the back. This is where it gets interesting. Still no mustard on my sausage biscuit, by the way. Best Buy date. You want to take a guess of when it was?
Wait, hang on a second. Okay, that sets the mood. I don't know. What's the Best Buy date?
Just take a wild guess. We're moving here. Come on.
It's 2018, December 2018? No.
I'll give you one more.
Let's say June 2018.
No.
What is it?
August?
Uh-oh.
31st.
Uh-oh.
Of 2015.
Oh, Roz. Why you gotta be Sith Lord on him? Come on.
Yes. So now I'm eating a mustardless sausage McMuffin.
That's how Darth Vader really takes down his enemies, by the way.
Yeah, it is.
Here's a little.
Oh, no mustard? Oh, don't worry about it. Get the poison one in the fridge that I left for you that expired 5 years. Yeah, that's what
I think it's green. Let's open it up. Oh, look at this mustard. Look at it.
Gross.
So, thanks, Roz.
I want to punch you in the face.
That's awesome. Hey, let's go to Linus on
Let's go back to the real news here, but we had to cover that topic real quick there.
Facebook didn't even get anything to audio. I forgot to turn it back on the phone.
No.
Yeah,
that was the best segment of the day.
That was the best segment. I'll put it back there on Patreon. You'll get it on that Facebook.
Kroger was not an official sponsor of this message.
That's true. Kroger, we want your money. Linus has subheading here says disagree. I suppose that could be with the Smollett story or the Russia collusion conspiracy. What's on your mind, sir?
No, actually before that, but first I wanted to ask you a question. Was your mustard stored next to Snow White's apples by any chance?
Definitely was. I wanted to make sure I didn't get those confused because I think that was next.
Better watch that stuff. I've heard of people turning into the wolf man after eating.
I know. Roz she has plans for me, evidently, but I'm outsmarting her one step at a time.
Yes. Well, anyway, what I was going to say is this. You guys were talking about Hillary Clinton and it not being worth it and this and that, and I don't agree. I think that the bricks that hold society together are called laws. And nowhere in our laws does it say there are two tiers of laws, one for them and one for everybody else. The law has to be equal, and there's a reason why the Lady Justice has a blindfold on. What's going on with our society, and what, in my opinion, will bring it down if it isn't stopped, is selective law enforcement.
Mm-hmm.
And Linus, I 100% agree with you. I want to clarify my position a little bit for you. I 100% agree that I think justice and the law should be applied equally all the time, every time, no matter who the person is, no matter what their capacity is, no matter what the crime was. Every time, I think the law should be followed.
I agree with you.
My only thing on the Russian collusion stuff going on there and some of the stuff with Jussie Smollett. One, Jussie Smollett, my opinion on that is, I think compared to some of the things we are trying to get done in this country right now, one, that is a smaller fish to fry right now. I think it's a distraction campaign away from the Russian collusion narrative. I think it is part of it. They're wanting us to talk about that.
That's interesting.
Versus
that is interesting.
an actual discussion on Russian collusion.
People don't, in politics, people don't do stuff out of the goodness of their hearts. I'm convinced that there's something really nasty that Smollett knows about. They hope he keeps his mouth shut about.
Sure. No, like I said earlier, there's either a debt owed and a debt paid, something going on there that we don't know about.
Probably something sexual, in my opinion.
But it also could be, Linus, if what Richard is saying is true. Richard Esparza just sent me this off air again on Facebook, saying some sources have said that the DNC was running this and that the Obamas were involved. I suppose the idea of running this thing of ramping up sort of racial tension yet one more time. Now, if there's any shred of truth behind that, what if it's a thing of Smollett was not necessarily hired, but was tagged to perpetrate this particular sort of hoax, not by the Obamas, but the Obamas saw what was happening, saw that it was outed, and then thought to themselves, like, oh, hold on, if this ever gets back to us, if anything is ever touched that this was orchestrated at a higher level than just Jussie Smollett trying to raise his career stakes, trying to get paid more, this could come back on our feet, man. Maybe that's what he was owed. Maybe that's what he was tied into is, I got people above me that I need to answer to as well.
You know, you guys are bringing up a very interesting point, sort of indirectly here. I'm a student of politics. I've been watching this stuff unfold for a while now. And I've watched the news media when all of this Russian collusion stuff broke, and they acted like they were preparing to defend the emperor to the death, and the emperor is Barack Obama. I am absolutely convinced that he was involved in this from the word go, and they're determined to protect him at any cost. He could very well be the first president of the United States that ever went to jail if justice was actually perpetrated on him.
Yeah.
You talk about a black eye, there it is. The Democratic Party, in a way, I feel sorry for the Democrats, because they've lost their party. They have nowhere to go but Donald Trump.
And Linus, let me ask you this, because I had this conversation with a few of my Democrat friends once this broke, and it seems like so many of them that Trump derangement syndrome is so real that so many of them still do not believe that this report is legitimate. They still think there was Russian collusion, and they still think that Donald Trump should not be president. Is there any way in your mind to reach these people, or how do you combat, or how do you deal with them?
It's really very simple. When you argue with them, all you have to say is, you're an idiot, and then go on. Because you can't win an argument with people like that.
And that's all you can do, because there's nothing you can provide to them or prove to them to change their mind. They're so entrenched in what they want to believe, they believe their wanted opinion is truth.
Absolutely right. Something is seriously, seriously wrong. Years and years ago, I took some psychology courses at the university. And if you're socialized into a group, and the group is insane, what does that make you?
A cult member? I'm not sure. I mean,
well, it makes you insane too.
Right? Yeah. Sure, yeah.
And that's pretty much what's happened with this Trump derangement thing. The media has gone just to the bottom line here, trying to convince everybody that this false narrative is fact, and they can't believe that they can't create reality for everybody anymore and get away with it.
I mean,
they have for some people, and these are these lunatics that you see out there that say, "Well, the Mueller's been corrupted by the Russians."
Yeah, I mean, this is what I want to do, Russ. We still got this computer going here, but this is what I want to do sometimes, Linus, when I hear people talking about that. Here's a headline from Slate.com, how Robert Mueller failed us. When I start reading some of this stuff, saying the author saying, look, Mueller and his team never held a single press conference to explain what they were doing or their thinking and strategy, let alone the basis of their convictions. The guilty pleas, the indictments, respectively, Paul Manafort, Michael Flynn, Richard Gates. You see what I'm saying? It's like, it's the Democrats' party. You can cry if you want to. That's all they have left. I can't even get to the first paragraph of thinking to myself, just go ahead and cry about it, Democrats.
Yeah.
What else are you going to do?
They
There's
will always
literally,
have an excuse.
there's no evidence on your side anymore for any of this nonsense. You all now sound just like Alex Jones. You sound like the person you're claiming.
I heard the other day.
Sounds pretty reasonable compared to them sometimes.
Well, sometimes.
That's a bad thing to say.
Lennis, I heard the other day, I remember who I was listening to, what is the biggest difference right now between the Democrat Party and the Republican Party? And that is that the Republicans can move on when they lose. The Democrats cannot.
The Republicans are trying to reform themselves, and that's where all the problem is in the Republican Party. The Democrats are making no attempt to, and that's going to be the end of them in the end. And I don't know how we're going to run with a one-party system, but it looks like that's where we're going to wind up.
Hey, Lennis, I'll say this on the way out. It's starting to look like the Democrats are destroying themselves to the extent, not even to the extent the conservatives did 20 or 30 years ago, to the extent that we might have 40, 50, potentially 60 years of full-on conservative reign control before Democrats even figure out what it is they want their party to be. They're pushing now to socialism, to straight-out socialism.
There are different versions of conservatism. I consider myself a Trump populist. I believe that the government has a responsibility to the people and a responsibility to the Constitution. And these guys out there on the Democrat side, they want to destroy the Constitution. They want to pack the Supreme Court. They want to get rid of the College of Electors. You name it, they're against it. You cannot run a party like that. They had a choice, my friend. They could either legislate or investigate. Which have they chosen?
Oh, that's the truth. I'm going to steal that phrase, Lennis. That's right. They could either legislate or investigate, and they chose the latter of those two. Lennis, buddy, we always appreciate hearing from you. We'll talk to you soon.
Sure, bye-bye.
There he goes. That is a great phrase right there. They could have chosen. They could have. They have the House.
Yep.
They could have chosen to legislate or investigate, but they chose the latter of those two, man. That's the truth. 9:49 in the morning. Hit this last break. Be right back.
Ow.
Closer to your fantasy, I can try to be the one you love and need. I'm feeling you sort of like a burden. I feel it in my heart. Are you letting go of me now? I see the words across her face now, saving my last breath.
It's like if Andy McKee could sing. You know who Andy McKee is? It's like this. Listen to this guy, it's pretty cool. One guy. I've heard it's not that difficult to do. I think he has there's something called open tuning or something like that. I don't know. It looks cool though. Gateway, folks. What did they bring us? Did they get the coffee? Oh, I didn't know that.
Couple minutes.
Exploiting these poor kids' labors.
They brought, I don't know. We got creamer and coffee and yummy stuff. And
They bring my stuff?
Oh, wow.
Y'all bring my stuff?
yeah, they got the stuff.
You got my stuff?
Y'all got mustard back there?
Yeah.
Y'all got some mustard?
Yeah.
No mustard. I'm sorry about the mustard.
Y'all bring that tainted mustard?
I didn't tell y'all about the mustard. He's so mad at me.
Don't bring no expired mustard up in here. Crazy.
That's going to be the next name for that new chronic on the streets. Y'all got that sour mustard?
By Jussie Smollett.
Yeah. Y'all got that sour mustard?
Talk Radio 92.3 and AM 760 are those of the hosts and guests of those programs and not necessarily those of the station or management.
Did you know migraine is a disabling disease affecting over 36 million Americans? The pain of migraine sufferers is often so bad their lives just stop. The American Migraine Foundation helps people living with migraine to find the support and treatment they need. Go to AmericanMigraineFoundation.org. Make your move against migraine.
For a little bit, taco see a specialist and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll see what's good with it.
All right.
Yeah. Oh, Raw's in there. It's all good. It humbles you, you know what I'm saying? Being a little injured.
9:53. We got the kids from kids. Come on. I don't know. How old are y'all, by the way?
He's about to be 27, and I'm about to be 26.
All right, so y'all are kids.
Yeah.
You know, kids. We get the kids.
Well, they are something though. Roz beat one of them up. Are you all right?
Oh yeah,
Already on
yeah.
crutches
I
after
was
this.
talking crazy to Roz, you know, and she said,
She can turn on it. Let me tell you what.
I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad.
Of course you don't.
Hey, by the way, just so y'all know, we actually when Rush Limbaugh starts pitching, you know, prescriptions of I'm not just a pitch man for this, I'm actually a user as well, you know. He doesn't say that. That's a joke, by the way. But
that was a very bad Rush.
I thought it was pretty good Rush. No? Kind of has a little growl at it. No,
definitely not.
Not.
It's more of a grasp.
That is a grasp. Yeah,
Not
that's true.
really a
Yeah.
growl.
It's like a gravel. Not really. No, gravel's even too heavy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's more of a grasp.
It's like a little silt.
It's more. It's his Midwestern accent.
Oh,
That's
yeah?
what it is.
What do you think, Snurdly? Oh, he's not back there. Because Snurdly's not real, by the way.
Yeah.
I don't think Snurdly's a real person. I've
talked to him.
Part of me, have you really?
Yeah, Snurdly and I talk.
Nah.
Do you want me to show you the text messages?
Yeah, I do. Part of me honestly thinks that Snurdly's not a real person. It's just when Rush needs to regain his thought line when he sort of gets off
Because you
track.
don't hear Snurdly talking.
You never hear Snurdly talk, yeah. Hey, anyways, we're my Gateway Grocery
I'm gonna prove
people.
this to you right
Just
now.
so you know, we don't pitch this product. We actually use it. How much stuff did y'all come in with today? It was like a small
good
army's
$100 worth of items, K-Pods, coffee creamer, everything, just to stock your guys' little room. So
get the coffee
little
going.
things like that, we come in handy, man.
All right, so again, for those who haven't heard, we got 3 minutes left.
Where are those messages?
My Gateway Grocery. What's the other restaurant one again? Tell me.
MyGatewayGrocery.com and MyGatewayRestaurant.com. Try it out today. First delivery is free. It'll be the first thing you see when you pop up. A big coupon. Why not try it if you're hungry?
865-964-3843. I was going to ask if I could get that number out, but seeing as I already did, we can't go back in time unless y'all know Doc Brown. 865-964-3843. That's the number to call, or just go to mygatewaygrocery.com. You can find it all there. And obviously, what you guys have heard from these folks before on the way. It's Tippy. You're probably going to have to get your call tomorrow, buddy. Sorry about that. These guys will deliver almost anything and everything for you. How's it looking so far? Y'all still rolling right along?
Absolutely, yeah. We are working on, like Jimmy had mentioned last time, an alcohol partnership, a delivery partnership with Campbell Station Wine and Spirits. We're looking to work with Fresh Market and, on Kingston Pike, all different types of things, man. We're blessed every single day, so just taking it how we can.
How's those conversations go, by the way? Let me ask this too, man. If there's someone out there that's listening, Bose. if there's someone out there listening, I know actually a couple of people. Roz and I have ran into a few people that listen to talk radio while they're one guy at a store in particular who listens to talk radio while he's stocking shelves or whatever.
Does the store make you have the flu in the morning?
Yeah, sure, maybe. Anyways, but for those that may be listening while they're at work that have small businesses or business at all, if they want to contact you and get involved, and hey, I want to get my stuff shipped out too. How do we do that?
Hey, you literally just if you're a restaurant, you can go to mygatewayrestaurant.com. We actually have a tab that says basically if you want to partner, put your information here. If you're a small business in any other kind of way, all the way up to a hotel, anything like that, just send us an email at gatewaykno@gmail.com, and it comes directly to our phones, and we're always looking for ways to build our business to help stimulate Knoxville's economy all the way to a couple other things that we're aspiring to do. So yeah, let's work together, everybody.
And again, my biggest point about y'all's and your company is there are a bunch of companies out there that do the restaurant delivery, things like that, but you are a small business based in Knoxville. You're helping local people, local families, trying to do something good. What we preach about on the show all the time, seeing a need, seeing an idea, and going out and doing it. This is why you should I can't even speak. Support this talk radio show. Support these guys because you're not just helping one more big corporation get someone else that they don't really care about.
Yep.
This is a hardworking local. Quit laughing at me, Roz.
Mustard got your tongue?
Lack thereof. So, what are those two websites again?
MyGatewayGrocery.com and MyGatewayRestaurant.com. First delivery is free. Try us.
Kick that Grubhub to the curb, man. It's a stupid name anyways. You know what I mean? Grubhub.
Like you're
makes
eating
me...
some grub? That doesn't sound very good.
It's like a Beatles eat, you know what I mean? Those dung Beatles.
It's like Hamburger Helper?
Yeah, right.
Which is not bad.
All right. Well, hey, settle this for us real quick. Who messed up on the mustard thing? Was it Roz or y'all?
Mustard thing.
I never. Definitely
right there. The mustard thing.
They don't
that
mess
means
up
it's
your
Roz.
delivery, so get it right every time. Yeah.
All right, thanks for joining us.
5 years expired.
Hey, we got to end the show today. News, traffic, weather, all that. Glenn Beck's coming up next. I'll be in Thursday, Friday, the rest of the time as well. Dude, there were so many stories we didn't even touch on today. I got tomorrow's prep already ready for tomorrow's show.
The 4th hour starts now.
That's right, 4th hour. Shit, we could go for another 2 hours, the stuff we have. We'll be back tomorrow doing it big.
Sales managers and business owners.
Oh, y'all so cool, man. Golly.
We just do what we want on this here show.
That's right.
I honestly wonder sometimes too, like if the show was as good as it was, what other, like if this was on Cumulus, do you think some of those station managers would be like, all right, it's a good show, just do whatever the hell you want.
So, Ray is calling it the Great Mustard Incident.
do we owe you,
2019.
Marshall's going to cut you the check.
Okay. Jimmy has everything on his
Tell Marshall to cut me a check too, man. What you doing?
Hey, Marshall, you say Marshall's cutting checks?
Oh, yeah.
Come on, let's go find this out. Come on.
She's doing plus 100% on everything, too.
Yeah, really. Oh, it's fantastic. Appreciate y'all.
How fast can you clap?
Watch. You watching it? See how fast it's moving? You can't even see it moving. Looks like you look like a seal. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
Everybody think we're the stupidest.
Yeah, of course they do. Hey, Facebook, I'm going to end it there now that I've squawked like a seal.
He's getting better.
Y'all the best. I will be back tomorrow. Probably dead tired, but that's all right.
Why dead tired?
I got to go all the way to Nashville again, then come all the way back. And, no, something else.
Oh, dang it.
Nick just screwed himself. Yeah, I'm going to end it there. Y'all the best. Love y'all. I'm going to have this up on Patreon, YouTube clips, all the stuff, all the good stuff. Yeah. See y'all later. Peace. Love y'all.